Jacksonville plays host to the Bestbet Bounty Scramble. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the World Poker Tour. I'm Lynn Gilmartin. As poker continues to explode in the state of Florida, hundreds of players turned up for our latest stop, which this season would feature a new twist, guaranteed to heat up the quest to become a WPT champ.
There you see the chip count. The 21-year-old Ryan Van Sanford out in front with 4.8 million. Jason Helder in second with 3.6. Brian Reinert in third with 2.1.
The winner's going to take home $421,000 here at the Bestbet Bounty Scramble. He'll also take home that beautiful Hublot watch.
Good luck, guys. Yeah, good luck, everybody.
Andes are starting at 5,000. Blinds are 15 and 30. Here we go. Cards being dealt. Action first on Chris Bolek. He's from Boca Raton, Florida. 25 years old. He's got ace-7 of diamonds.
Yeah, poker pro here.
Lives in Boca Raton, a few hundred miles down south, and he's going to fold that hand onto Jared Reinstein. 39 years old, a businessman, not going to play his hand.
Over to the youngest player at the table, Ryan Van Sanford, the 21-year-old chip leader. Right in the cutoff position, aggressive player.
He has raised to 60,000.
Gonna take command here.
Into Corey Hochman. Now Corey has a pair of fours. He's on the short stack. He could fire here.
And you just have to assume that the chip leader is going to raise with any two cards here. You almost have to go all in, I think, with these two fours in this spot. Well, Corey's an ophthalmologist. Does he want to put all his chips in?
No, he's going to muck his hand. Look at that. Jason won't play, and now Brian Reinert, he has picked a pair of aces.
Raise.
On hand number one, he has re-raised it.
Wow, this guy's nickname is Chains from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Ryan's going to fold, so Brian Reinert taking down hand number one.
That's his business, is that he is a wine consultant. Now, what a good job that is. You just get to drink wine all day.
Yes, that's my kind of job, Mike.
You and I are draft beer guys. What can you say?
Quick fold by Jared. Ryan, our chip leader, also going out, and now it's on to Hochman, not going to play. Into Jason Helder. He's going to raise with ace-4 of diamonds.
150.
Ooh.
Brian Reinert this time has picked up two jacks. He had ace on deal one, two jacks on deal number two.
Bolek out, and an insta-call by Jason with ace-4 diamonds. Wyman picking up cards so far. Let's see what happens on the flop.
Now flop 9 deuce deuce.
225.
The Wyman out in front with his jacks, boldly betting 225.
Wow, a little surprised by this. Jason going to make the call with just an ace-4.
Doesn't believe him.
And he has a backdoor diamond draw, as we say, but that's stretching it. But an ace comes off on a turn.
What a card for Jason, hitting the aces, and he's got the Wyman leaning into him with a bet. 325.
325.
Jason is a poker pro out of Pennsylvania, 28 years old. And he makes a smooth call. We're going to the river. It's going to be upsetting to the wine man.
Yeah, once you get called there, you got to put it neutral with two jacks on the river.
River card, Queen of Hearts.
Well, he doesn't know what neutral is, Vince.
425.
He fires 425,000 out there. This is going to get called for sure because Jason now has a better kicker. He's got aces up with a queen kicker.
He calls the hand. And the Wyman gets a little high on that one. Jason going to take that.
He's shaking his head. Can't believe the guy caught an ace on the turn to beat him. That poor top hat. I'm going to get smashed up before the day's over.
On to Brian. He's going to quickly fold his hand. Chris Bolek out of Boca Raton, also out. Jared Reinstein now with an ace-8 of spades.
Jared, 39 from Tallahassee, Florida, going to raise it up here. 65,000 to go.
Ryan going away. Corey Hochman not going to play. The only one that's going to get stubborn is Jason Helder with a 10-8.
Well, he's defending. Oh, look at this flop. It's come king 8-8. The dream flop for Jared. Both players have 3 8s, but Jared has him out kicked.
Jason checks. Jared's going to slow play 2. To the turn we go. 5 of diamonds. What a hand we're seeing.
Both players slow playing the flop.
And now Jason going to make the bet. Little teaser 75,000. Let's see how Jared.
Wow, he still doesn't raise with 3/8 and an ace kicker, just calls.
River card is another king.
Well, you don't like it if you have 3/8 here when a king comes up, but you're not going to put your opponent on a king, neither one of them, because neither one bet the flop.
Jason is going to bet 125. Now Jared is saying, is it possible this guy had a king? $280 to go.
Wow, pretty bold raise here. He could be up against kings full. He's making up for the slow play. He's made the call, and it is going to be a split pot, and Jared is not going to like that river card because it cost him the pot.
And they're both sort of disappointed with that result.
Nice hand. Thank you. You too.
Jared Reinstein has got to be a little annoyed by the king on the river. Had his man pipped and popped. The beers go down as another hand is being dealt into Brian from Lawrenceville, Georgia. He's got a pair of 6s. He's picking up pairs here tonight. Will raise it to 65,000. Chris Bolek folds.
Yeah, Jared goes out.
Ryan going away. They're folding like dominoes. But Jason Helder, who is going to make this call with just absolute slop. Here comes the flop.
Wow, surprised he's calling a raise with this hand out of position.
Oh, Jason has flopped 2 pair, and of course Brian with 3 of a kind. And they both check, playing slow. Unreal. Ace on the turn. Jason looking to trap big time. He checks again. Brian gonna bet 65.
Jason's going to think his opponent just hit a pair of aces. Check raise here where he's drawing dead, Vince.
Well, you're the Hall of Famer. Of course he is.
Everyone's going to raise with 2 pair in this spot, the way this hand's been played.
200,000, and Brian giving it like, really? I'm a little nervous. Yet I'm not. Get the sag card out, Brian. He's got to love his 3 6s at this point.
475.
475 total.
I'm all in. I call.
All in. Brian looking beautiful. Jason just snake bit there. Just that's the problem with playing too many hands. Sometimes it just doesn't pay.
Nice hand, man. It's cooler, man. Yeah, I'm just on dad. It's cooler.
It's like felt like I was a setup man.
Yes! Yes!
God, you're a little aggressive, man.
Shocked he won. So glad he held.
Big hand for Brian there, the wine man. No whining from him right there. He's going to double up. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action from Jacksonville Best Bet in just a moment.
Sick hold, bud. Sick hold.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
All right, let's go to the felt. Quick fold by Chris Bolek. Jared Reinstein with an ace-9. Jared from Tallahassee, all buttoned down there with the jacket.
Well, Jared says he zips his jacket up because he doesn't want anybody to see the veins in his neck where it might give off a tail as to the strength of his hand.
He's raised it to 65. Ryan right behind him with just a 4 deuce of diamonds. And he is going to get creative here and slop around and call this hand.
Something you don't see that often.
And here comes our eye surgeon. He looks down at a pretty impressive ace queen of spades. with the button on the short stack.
I think you just have to ship it here.
You would think. He's put the hoodie on. Doesn't ship. He raced to 285. Jason out. Bryant with a pair of 10s.
Wow. Brian laid down 2 10s there.
That's shocking. Everybody fold. So the eye doctor's going to take down the pot. I am absolutely stunned by that fold of 10s.
You got a monster there? Kings. Aces? Kings. Kings? Yeah. No good. Yeah.
You might want to be more careful when you're appealing your cards, because you
can see them?
I did see them that time, and I'm gonna look. I can't help it. Natural instinct.
Oh, okay, what do you have?
What?
What do you have?
I saw one card that wasn't a king. I didn't know what it was, but it wasn't. It was not a king. I can't not look.
No, that's cool. No, thanks for letting me know.
But we're playing cards.
I lied. I'm sorry.
Oh, boy. Jason dropping a dime on him right there.
Don't be embarrassed about lying unless they pay you to see the cards. Keep them confused. Corey with the fold, Jason out. Brian Reinert has picked up a pair of aces.
I got to get me one of those hats, Vince. Guy's picked up aces again. He's had aces, jacks, sixes, just threw 10s away. What a card rack.
Goes to 65,000. Chris out, Jared out. Ryan with a pair of 7s.
Well, Ryan's the chip leader. He's going to respect his elders and just call here, not re-raise with the 2 7s.
And here's the flop. It's a 6-5-4. Pretty good for Ryan. Open-ended straight draw. He checks.
Well, the youngest player at the table checks. The oldest player at the table is going to bet.
115.
A lot of guys would check raise with 2 7s here. Ryan just calling.
Here's the turn card, Queen of Hearts.
Well, again, Ryan checks. Well, you talk about respecting your elders, Vince. Ryan doing it here.
Well, Brian's bet, 140.
And it gets called again.
Ryan looking to catch here, but does not as a 9 of spades.
Well, again, Ryan checks, and now the 2 aces are tabled by Brian, and he's going to win the pot.
So you got aces twice and jacks once?
Yeah. And another one.
Welcome to the deck.
Now looks like yep, action on Brian. And he will quickly fold his hand. Chris also going out. Jared not going to play ace high.
Well, folded all the way around to the chip leader. 21-year-old Ryan going to make a button raise here with the Queen Jack.
Eye doctor folds his hand, but Jason Helder will make the call with Jack 9 of hearts. Let's take a look at the flop.
And the flop is ace 5-4 rainbow.
Helps neither player. Jason checks. Ryan will bet this 75,000.
Well, look at this, Vince. This is what we call a float bet here. Jason going to make the call with no hand and no draw, just in an effort to steal this pot on a later street.
King on the turn doesn't help Jason. He checks. Ryan now with an inside straight draw. That's about it. And the power of position. He's getting chips out again. And he'll bet 155,000. And look at Jason.
His intention was to check raise here on the turn, and he's doing it. Guy's showing a lot of heart here.
Makes it 410.
Call.
That's another 255,000. Wow, Ryan making the call here, looking for a gut shot 10 to win the pot.
Jason might think Ryan has an ace now, so this could change things with that call. Here we go to the river. Well, neither player gets anything. 6 of diamonds.
Well, Jason knows the only way he can win this pot is to bet at it. And he is doing it.
He is going to take a risk that Ryan didn't have the ace. He's corrected with that assumption. He's going to bet 750.
A healthy bet here into a pot that has 1.1 million. Ryan can't stand the heat. What a play there by Jason Helder. Vince, he told us he felt like he was the most experienced and best player at the table. He's proven it a bit right there, I can tell you.
Tonight's Bestbet Bounty Scramble champion is going to take home over $400,000, plus all the spoils that go along with being named a WPT champion. Players ready to resume, so let's get back to Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten.
There you see the chip count. Jason Helder now out in front with 4.7. Ryan Van Sanford in second with 3.4. Brian Reinert in third, 3.1.
Into Jason, he's going to quickly fold. Brian Reinert will take a rest. And now Chris finally picked up a real hand pair of aces.
Been very conservative so far, but not going to be conservative this spot, I can assure you.
He's raised, but Jared behind him with a pair of sixes. He's going to repop. Wow. 155 to go. Ryan out.
Well, this is the problem when you pop with the mid pair. You could get re-raised right out of the pot.
Eye doctor goes away, but Chris, he's just going to make a smooth call.
Chris makes the call.
Camouflaging the strength of his hand. Doesn't re-raise before the flop with two aces.
Seven of clubs. Three of clubs.
Now it comes 7-3-3.
Chris going to check again. Jared feeling confident now. We'll make another bet, 105.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad flop for two sixes.
All in.
And Chris is going to plunge away right now with the all-in bet. He's saying no more free cards for you.
This pair is bigger. Chris, we've played on a couple tables together. Every hand I've seen him play has been strong, and he's played well. He's definitely, I think, a contender also. I guess you got the high.
Be in big trouble, but no, he's going to make a great lay down.
So Jared's intuition is right about Chris. He's going to lay down the two sixes.
Yeah, great lay down by him. A lot of players will be caught with that hand.
Nice hand, nice.
But not to be. Chris will take down the pot. Now the antes are going to stay at 5,000, but the blinds are going up to 20 and 40 at this point. Action right back on Chris. First to act will fold his hand. Jared takes a rest. Ryan, oh man, now Ryan's got the pair of aces. You don't see this type of hands being dealt all the time.
Going to make the min raise to 80,000.
Corey Hochman out.
Just can't believe how many times we've seen two aces so far at this final table. They're supposed to pick them up once every 220 deals. This is at least the fourth time we've seen him so far at this final table.
The madman Jason with just 9-6 has re-raised.
Brian goes out.
The re-raise by Ryan with the aces to 525. Jason slipping on the banana peel right there.
300,000 more to Jason. And Jason just loves to play pots. He has made this call with the 9-6. Ace, king, king. Ryan has flopped aces full here.
Jason wise enough to check.
Well, he's not going to bet here, Vince.
No, you don't bet.
You're going to just hope your opponent bets on the turn, whatever comes out there.
4 of hearts just gives a 4 flush to Jason, so he's got a little pep in his step.
Well, you better hope he doesn't make the flush.
Oh, he's going to donate. Yep, he's putting in 325.
Well, then we know Jason is not going to win this pot, but it's not because he lacks heart, I can tell you that.
Ryan beautifully playing, just calling, of course. Don't spook him. River card.
River card.
Well, river comes a 7 of spade. Jason knows the only way he can win this pot is to bet at it, and he is doing it.
Trapped in his own betting. Again, he's going to bet. 650 this time, Mike. To the delight of Ryan.
He just looks like he's 15 years old to me. I'm sure the guy shaves yet.
Yeah, looks like a junior high student, if you ask me.
Well, he's going to shave some chips off his opponent here, that's for sure.
All in?
And there you go with the all-in.
The gig's up. You stole the last one, Jason, but you're not going to steal from aces full. Sorry.
B discouragingly lays it down. Ryan taking the pot, and there's Ryan's dad. Gotta be proud.
Dad Jeff in the house tonight. Ryan is thrilled that he's here.
Which boat did you flop? Doesn't matter.
Let's go down to the felt. A quick fold. And now Jason Helder, who splashes around a lot of pots, has raised with King 7. Ryan has folded. Chris has called with 9-8.
Yeah, Jared goes out. Ryan out as well.
Ryan folds up to the flop.
So Chris with a 9-8 suited connector is going to see this end flop as a 10-9-9.
9 of spades.
Notice that Jason has flopped a flush draw. Chris with 3 9s.
Jason is checked. Chris looking content like the cat that swallowed the canary. He's going to make the bet. 135.
Jason going to make the call with the flush draw.
Jason calls.
As aggressive as he is, I'm surprised he's not raising with this hand. 8 of hearts. Vince, one's made a flush, one's made a full house.
They check.
Good check. To the river.
Both players slow play in their hand.
Ace of clubs.
Now an ace comes off. It's going to get bloody for Jason, Vince.
And a bet by Jason. 450.
All in.
It is all in, and now if you're
This announces all in.
Jason, you hate hearing those words because this is one solid player.
Is it like 500 more?
You just don't think he'd be doing it if he couldn't beat a flush.
Curiosity call
Jason
with his
calls.
king high flush. He's going to hate this. Chris pulls over the 9s full. Ouch, the crowd going crazy. Those are Chris's guys.
And the 25-year-old pro taking down that pot. Jason, back to the beer.
Guzzle time for Jason. He plays a lot of pots. Sometimes that does not pay off. It can hurt you. 6 players battling for 421 for the first place prize here tonight. That's 421,000. Back on the wine man, he goes out. Chris gonna take a breather.
Folds. Chris folds.
Jared out as well, so around to the chip leader.
Yep, Ryan, he's got a nice ace, queen of spades. He's gonna raise to 80,000. Corey Hochman behind him. The eye guy, he's gonna push all in.
Well, Vince, you can't blame him. I do the same thing with this hand.
Jason out.
He's on the short stack up against the chip leader that's going to raise with any 2 cards on the button. Just unfortunately for Corey, he's running into a hand that dominates him. So the ophthalmologist could be head back to the office, Vince, if he doesn't get lucky here.
Last minute decision to play this event for the eye doctor. He has proven himself so far. Been playing WPT events for 8 years. Final table, and now he needs to get real lucky, Mike.
Well, he's got to get lucky, Vince, or Daddy's going to be going home to the 2 kids, Alara and Kaya.
And the flop is an A7, 6 aces for Ryan, and a 4 flush.
Well, you talk about a nightmare flop.
That's probably not very good for me.
He's got to hit 2 runners to win this pot, and one of them can't be a spade. Looks very bad for him right now.
Here comes the turn card, and it's a 7, pairs the board. That's going to wrap it up for the eye doc.
The 39-year-old from Phoenix, Arizona, who finished 9th in the WPT World Championship last season. Final table here, but out tonight in 6th place.
Yeah, the ophthalmologist gets poked in the eye, and he is walking blindly out of here in 6th place. Going to take home 81,000. Let's see what he has to say.
Well, I normally wouldn't shove there with Queen King, but Ryan had raised a lot on the button yesterday with junk, and I knew, especially in a short-handed game, he'd be more likely to do it even. So that's why I took a shot at it. I was going for the whole thing. I was planning to win. I love the World Poker Tour. I mean, this is great. I'm going to come back. You'll see me back at the final table again. So.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description, use the code YT11 on deposit, and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
There you see the chip count. The 21-year-old Ryan Van Sanford out in front with about 5.3 million. Brian Reinert in second with 3.2. Chris Bolek in third with 2.5 million. That's what they're playing for. The winner tonight taking home over 421,000 and a WPT title.
Annie's 5,000 blinds, 20 and 40,000.
Thank you.
Let's get this going at the Best Bet Bounty Scramble. Chris Bolek, quick fold by him.
Jared Reinstein going out.
Chip leader Ryan going out.
To Jason Helder, 28-year-old pro out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Going to raise it up here with the Jack 10.
Call.
Brian Reinert is the wine man. He is going to call.
With the Jack 9.
Flop is a 8-8-4.
Well, here comes the continuation bet by the pro.
95,000. And Brian.
He's got no hand and no draw.
195.
Look at the amateur, Vince. Pulling the trigger here with a raise with nothing.
That's not an amateur, that's a non-professional, my man.
You're right. So long, pro. We'll see you later.
He's gonna do it. He is from Lawrenceville, Georgia. He's 48 years old, and he has played impeccably here tonight so far.
Can't wait to get back to regular poker.
He's a family man, has 3 daughters, 2 grandsons.
The kid's got style for an old man.
He's in second place right now. This non-professional player who got in this tournament by playing a satellite, $500 is all it cost him instead of $5,000 like it cost the rest of us. It's the intelligent way.
I'll give you that.
Try a satellite, folks.
Yes.
To earn your way into these WPT events. Wish I'd have done it.
It's gonna be on Ryan Van Sanford. First time ever at a WPT event. He's gonna quickly fold it. And now Jason is going to look down at a real hand. He's got the aces.
Well, this might be the most frequent hand we've seen at this final table so far tonight. Amazing how many times aces have come up.
Brian's gone out, and now Chris Bolek has a pair of deuces and will make the call.
You always like to see flops with small pairs because if you make a set, you could double up or bust somebody.
Chris from Boca Raton would like to catch his 3rd deuce, but no, king 9-4.
That's ironically, when you have 2 deuces, you're wishing your opponent has 2 aces. So in case you hit that deuce, you're going to get all the value out of them.
Call it the old nutcracker. Didn't catch there. Jason's going to make a continuation bet of 80. Chris fakes like he's going to call, but releases the hand.
The 25-year-old pro goes out.
Tell you something about Jason. He's made $1.3 million in lifetime earnings playing poker. Not too bad.
He's been by far the most aggressive player at this final table. That time he picked up a hand, but most of the time he's played pots here, he hasn't had a hand.
Heck of a player. This time he's going to get out of the way. Brian won't play.
Over to Chris. Chris on the button, has the ace high. His problem is the chip leader's in the big blind.
Well, he has raised it, and now Jared with a Jack 7 will make this call.
Well, it cost him a half a bet to call out of the small blind because Chris limped in on the button, and Ryan happy to see a flop. So we're going to have 3-way action here. And flop comes Jack 10-10. So Jared out in front with jacks and 10s. He's going to check. Ryan checks.
And Chris, the Floridian, will make the continuation bet. That's 65,000.
Well, Jared's on the short stack here.
Calling.
He is going to push all in. Ryan goes out. And Chris also going out. A nice win for Jared. Takes the pot. There's Jared's wife in the audience. Back to the felt. Winner's going to take home $421,000 here tonight. Action is on Chris, and he's got a pair of jacks. He'll raise with it $85,000 to go. Jared out.
Over to Ryan. Just turned 21 3 days ago.
He won't play that. Bad man Jason will not play. But the wine man, Brian Reinert, has ace 10. Pretty decent. He will make this call.
They call him the amateur Vince, but he's actually got some experience to him. He's won a Venetian deep stack, 2 World Series of Poker circuit rings he's got, so he's got some game, this
Well,
guy.
the flop comes up ace, queen, 7, so he's got aces. He's checked it, and Chris is going to bet.
Chris going to find out where he is right now. by bet now. If he gets called here, he knows he's beat. And he does get called. A black deuce comes off. That's not going to help anybody.
Brian's going to check and hopefully get a bet again, but he does not. Chris slows down and checks. 3 of spades on the river. Doesn't change a thing.
160.
And he bets 160,000. Yeah, I like this bet. 415,000 in the pot. Chris knows all he can beat is a draw now.
Chris is really, really analytical, thinks a lot, takes a long time. He's a very good player. He's probably the most skillful poker player that there is on the table. He's probably a math guy. He's going to be tough. I'm glad he's sitting where he's sitting.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective, because usually the best player may be on your right, but wine men work in mysterious ways, so who's to say?
Well, he takes down that pot with the 2 aces. Yeah, his brother Gary in the house here. They're wearing matching hats, it looks like.
Okay, into the next hand. Brian gonna take a rest, goes out. Chris with an ace deuce of hearts. Yeah, he'll pop this to 80,000 to go. Behind him, Jared. He's got him. Pair of aces again, Mike. Can you believe it?
I'm just wowed by how many times aces have showed up at this final table, Vince. It really is unusual.
Gonna make it 400,000 to go. Ryan goes out, and now it's on Jason, and he's picked up the ladies.
And his chips could disappear here.
I'm on.
He's gonna push all in. Bolek, quick fold by him.
A quick call here by Jared, of course. And Jason Helder just can't believe it. To finally pick up a hand, the guy's got a better hand. What else can happen to me here?
He's got 3 times as much as Jared.
Well, Jason was the chip leader not long ago. Looks like he could double up another opponent here, and he'll fall to last place with 5 left.
Oh. Come on, one time. Usually one time.
Hold one time, hold one time.
Well, he's away from the table. Just doesn't even want to watch, Vince.
Either way, it's no big deal. I'm happy with where I am.
Jared is all in.
And he says there's no big deal now, but believe me, if he gets these aces cracked, it'll be a big deal when he gets home, Vince.
He's got a good attitude. He's projecting even if he gets outdrawn. He's a happy man. Let's see if he does get outdrawn, or will the aces hold up. Ace, 3 aces, how about that?
Yeah, he is loving that, because now his opponent has to catch exactly a queen-queen to win the pot.
Dead again.
It is just a hateful look there, disguised by a smile.
Well, it's as good a flop as you can have. You're up against queen. It must come queen-queen. For Jason to win this pot, he's already counting out his chips.
Yeah.
All right, let's see the turn.
All right, Jason drawing dead here.
5 and 8 irrelevant cards.
Good job, man. Good job.
You're going on vacation when this tournament's over. It's going to be a nice one.
That's it, man.
Action on Chris Bolek. He folds his hand. Jared Reinstein with King Jack now is going to raise to 85,000. Ryan Van Sanford behind him. He's the chip leader, 21 years old, in his first ever WPT event.
Well, he looks down at a 6 deuce. And you're only going to make moves in this spot if you got a lot of chips. He's going to 3-bet it here to 225,000.
I'm on.
Stop the presses. Jason behind him with just ace-9 has gone all in.
Well, it's just like Jason knows that Ryan was making a move there with no hand. So he moved all in for $1 million and takes down the pot.
That's him. Thank you.
Good timing there by Jason Helder.
Great instincts. You know, this guy can't win with good hands, but average hands and junk hands he does quite well with.
You're right, Vince. He does better when he just bluffs his money off and tries to earn pots that way.
Very impressive by him. Right back at him. Action on Chris from Boca Raton, Florida. He's going to fold that hand. Jared also going out.
Over to the 21-year-old. Ryan out as well. Jason in the small blind going to limp in with the 8-5 of hearts.
Brian no raise with 9-4. Here we go. Flop is at 8-6 deuce. Jason hits his 8s.
He's going to lead out the bet here, and that should wrap it up.
50,000, and it does so. Brian getting out of the way.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
Let's get back down to these 5. Action on the young Ryan Van Sanford. He goes out. Jason now. He's going to raise it to 85 with 10-8.
And Brian right behind him with the ace-7 of diamonds going to make the call. Chris Bolek looks down at 2 aces. I am stunned how many times we've seen aces at this final table.
Uncanny. How does this happen?
Amazing. And he is going to obviously 3-bet it here. Makes it 240,000 to go.
Just doesn't happen this way. Jared and Jason out of their way. Unbelievable. And now Brian looks down at his measly ace-7 of diamonds.
$575.
And look at this, Vince. Thinking perhaps Chris is squeezing here. Going to make it 575,000 to go. Just music to the ears of Chris Bolek.
When Chris taking a little Hollywood time, thinking about it.
All in.
And there it is, all in by him.
Oh, Brian moaning the blues now.
I will take the wine to vinegar quickly.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You better have a glass here, Vince. Chris Bolek just trying to take the corkscrew and stick it right in the eye of that wine consultant right there.
I'm full.
There you go. Finally gets out of the way, doing the right thing. Chris Bolek looking like a hero, picking up those magical cards tonight, the aces.
25-year-old Floridian Chris Bolek doing well. Ryan Van Sanford still out in front here with 5 left.
Blinds are up to 25 and 50,000. Let's go to the felt. And we have a couple folds around to Chris from Boca Raton. He'll raise with his king-9 to 100,000. Jared goes out. Now Ryan with a pair of 5s.
Yeah, you always like to see flops with small pairs. Hope you flop a set.
King-9 versus 5s, and the flop is a jack-4 deuce.
Yeah, not a bad flop for 2 5s, but Ryan's going to check. Chris going to make a continuation bet. Does so very calmly. 80,000. Snap call by Ryan.
Turn card, another 4, pairs the board. Ryan checking again.
Wow, now many players would shut it down here, Vince, after getting called on the flop. But look at this. Chris going to fire another bullet here on the turn.
265. Gutsy play. And Ryan has to release the hand.
Well, Ryan just doesn't want to have to pay him off again at the river. Knows how tough this guy is. Just don't want to give him chips. He lays down the best hand. Good play by Chris Bolek there.
Well, his perception of the table has been pretty tight so far, so now he's moving into a different strategy, opening up his game a little bit. Quick fold by Jason, and now Brian just called.
And Chris folds the 7 deuce on the button. Now over to Jared Reinstein. He looks down at the king queen, and he is going to raise it here. Makes it 125,000 to go.
Right behind him, Ryan with a little pair of 4s will make the call.
Yeah, he calls out of the big blind. And Brian also going to make the call. So we're going to have three-way action here. Flop 10-5 deuce, 2 diamonds.
Jared quickly checks. Ryan, he will make a bet, 180. Quick fold by Brian into Jared, who didn't get any of that. King, queen, that's all he's got.
He's got the 2 overcards.
Oh boy, he's gonna make a move.
Wow, what a play here, 385,000.
The kid has to let it go.
Back-to-back pots. Our chip leader has been outplayed by his opponents.
Turn it up.
So if you don't catch the cards, bluff it like you did. Beautifully played by Jared Reinstein. All right, back to table. Quick fold by Chris and Jared. Ryan Van Sanford, an attractive ace-10 with the button. We'll pop it to 100,000 into Jason, who is now on the short stack. He's got king, queen of spades.
All in.
Whoa.
He's gone all in. That's what I would have done in this situation as well.
Brian quickly folds.
How much is it, please? 1055. Or whatever, 1,055,000.
I call.
Wow, what a call by Ryan. Well, Ryan has the best hand with the ace-10. Jason is going to need some help to stay alive in this tournament. Vince, not long ago, he was the chip leader. If he doesn't get some help here, he could be our 5th place finisher.
And the flop is a 7-7-6. No help for Jason.
Now Jason looking for a king or a queen to take the lead. Or 2 running spades to make a flush, but needs help.
Ryan sitting pretty.
4 comes off on the turn. If Jason doesn't catch a king or a queen on the river, he will be our 5th place finisher.
Get there.
We are going to the river.
Oh boy, the hokey about to bite the dust if he doesn't catch a king or a queen. Well, a jack comes off.
What a tease. Good luck, guys.
Well, a good sport. Just wasn't meant to be for Jason tonight.
Yeah, Jason Helder, consummate professional, most experienced at the table tonight. Not going to happen from him. He's out in 5th place. Going to take home 101,000. Let's go see what he has to say.
I definitely didn't play terrible. Could have played better. Obviously, coming in 2nd, getting 5th is no good, but I mean, making my first TV final table, not too bad. I mean, a little disappointed, but nothing wrong with, I don't even know what I got, like 100,000 or something. So pretty good.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
And we have 4 players battling for that 1st place prize of 421,000.
Yeah, half the chips in play almost.
A little less, yeah.
Awesome.
And we will go to the felt on Jared. He's from Tallahassee, Florida, 39 years old, gonna muck his hand. Ryan, the chip leader.
He's going to make a button raise here of up to 100,000.
And right behind him, Brian, the wine man, has picked up kings. He's going to play it slow. He has just called. Sometimes this could backfire when you play the king slow. Chris is also going to call with just an 8-6.
So here we go, 3-way action.
Flop is a jack 6-4. King's out in front.
Well, Brian with the 2 kings checks. Chris with middle pair also checks.
And Ryan going to make a bet with just 4s.
330.
You heard it, 330 total. Chris flying away.
And Ryan calling with bottom pair here.
Yep, doesn't believe him. Going to the turn, it's an 8. Chris would have made 2 pair. He's kicking himself.
Action on Brian. He puts a healthy stack out there. 650,000 into a pot that's got less than $1 million in it. I don't know how you can continue to call here with bottom pair, but let's see what he does. Wow, Vince, he is going to make the call here with bottom pair.
Does not believe the man with the hat.
Now, whatever his opponent had, if he had any kind of straight draw, if he had no repair, 2 4s are beat. There's nothing he can beat here. Now 3 comes off.
1 million.
1 million now the bet.
Wow, that is hefty.
That's if you're sitting in Ryan's seat and you called him on the turn because you thought you might have the best hand with 4s. No way a 3 is going to help the guy. I mean, all you can beat is a complete stone bluff here. If he had any kind of draw, he has you beat. If there's any kind of overpair, he has you beat.
But his instincts are that the man with the hat is trying to steal a pot from him. And you want to make a hero call, perhaps. Don't do it, kid. Don't do it. He's done it.
Made the call, made a hero call, but it's not going to be a hero. His sandwich is going flat here. Then some people might think the 21-year-old played that hand like a 5-year-old. The wine consultant just pops the cork in the youngster's eye right there. And with that pot, we have a new chip leader at this final table for the first time. The amateur, Brian Reinert, is our chip leader.
I didn't drive 5 hours for nothing. Let's go.
My wife's gonna have a heart attack. She never watched me play poker.
What a night it is for Brian. And Brian will just keep counting the chips as he mucks that. Chris now with an ace-6. And he will just call it. Jared, okay to see the flop. Not going to raise with his mess of a hand. 8-3. Here we go. Flop comes up queen 4-4.
Surprised Chris wouldn't raise out of the small blind with ace high, but he limped in. He checks here. And Jared going to try to bet to take this pot. Can't blame him. He just got an 8-3 junk hand.
Chris is called, though. Going to the turn. It is an 8. That gives Jared 8s. Just going to check again.
It's going to be a bit of a scare card. Your opponent called you on the flop. Now the flush comes off. Even though you helped your hand here, looks like a great time to check, because if it gets raised here, I don't think he can continue with this hand.
Well, he's bet 105,000. Chris with ace high is going to raise it.
Wow. And Jared. Wow, he makes this call, Vince. He can beat nothing but a complete bluff here. And he could be drawn completely dead. Now 4 diamonds on the board.
Either player has a diamond, of course. And
a snap bet right there by Chris Bolek, the 25-year-old pro.
380.
And he's going to win this pot. Wow. That was aggressive play by both players there.
Just Chris playing the situation beautifully there. Oh, it's so good to steal. Chris, well done.
And there you see the chip count. Brian Reinert still the chip leader with 5.6 million. Ryan in second place. And Chris moving into third place after that pot.
Right back on Brian, the new chip leader. This time with a little 5-3, and
he's the first to speak.
125.
How many times have we seen a guy take a chip lead at this table and just play junk the next hand right after he took it?
Just thinks he's on a roll, makes it 125. Chris out, but Jared with an ace-10, not going to raise, just calling. And Ryan has been punished enough. He folds his hand. So ace-10 versus a silly 5-3. Here we go.
Well, king, queen, 8 is the flop. Does give Jared a gut shot straight draw, but he's going to check.
Brian hitting none of that, of course, with just 5 high. Will make a continuation bet.
Nancy knows he can't win a checking, so he's betting and then holding his breath.
235. And Jared is going to release this.
So there you have it. What a play by Brian there, raising pre-flop with junk, making the continuation bet to take down the pot. And with it, there you can see his big chip lead. He's up to over 5.8 million now.
Yep, oldest player at the table, 48 years old. He's now the hero at the table. Taking down hands he doesn't even deserve. Beautifully done. On to this one, a quick fold by Jared and Ryan.
I disagree with you, Vince. Anytime you win pots with the worst hand, you've earned their pots, and therefore you deserve them.
All right, the sixes is going to raise. He's in a good rush, but right behind him. Look at this, Chris with the real hand, pair of tens.
Well, just shocked he's just calling here, not re-raising with 2 10s. We saw him slow play aces pre-flop earlier at this final table. See how it works out for him here. Jack 9-4. Brian's going to make the continuation bet with the sixes. Now with the tens, you're not going out, but you make a crying call because there's an overcard out there that might have hit your opponent. Well, an 8 comes off. So now this gives Chris an opening straight draw to go with his 2 10s. Now Brian is going to check the sixes. Chris checks right behind him. A little surprised by that. Now the 3 comes off.
And Brian is going to donate 160.
Well, this is sort of a blocking bet, as we call it, Vince. It's a small bet.
Must be good.
You just don't want to have to call a big bet, so you bet a small amount yourself with 2 6s.
Nice hand.
In case you're going to pay it off on the river. And as you can see, Chris makes the call with the 10s and wins the pot.
Let's go back down to the table.
Action here is going to be on Chris Bolek, the 25-year-old pro. He goes out.
Jared Reinstein will raise it up with an ace-4.
Ryan. He's going to lay it down.
Surprisingly, okay. And now Brian with a king-4 will make this call.
So we're going to see a flop. Jared has him dominated. But how good is Brian running? He is flop top pair here.
Flop is king, queen, 10. Yeah, Brian has a king.
He checks. Jared is now going to bet with a gut shot straight draw, 150,000. And there it is. He makes the call.
Going to the turn.
And board pairs 10s. Brian's going to check. Jared checks as well. Now a 6 comes off on the river. So Brian confident now that kings up are the best hand. He's going to bet 180,000.
Yeah, not a big bet. Just wants to induce a call, perhaps.
King.
Wow, he does make the call with the ace high. You can literally only beat a jack there in that spot.
Let's go, Brian! Woo, woo.
Your opponent has to have a jack and a small card. That is all you can beat with ace high there.
There's the beautiful Ivy, our royal flush girl, showing off the gorgeous Hublot watch that'll be presented to our champion.
Oh boy, that was beauty with beauty right there.
And the antes are going up to 10,000, blinds to 30 and 60,000. Action heating up here in Jacksonville. Quick fold by Jared. And now Ryan Van Sanford, the 21-year-old, with a queen, 3 of diamonds, raises to 120 to go.
Ryan Reinert sitting right behind him. He's going to make the call.
Now Chris with just an ace deuce.
Well, Vince, he's going to 3-bet it here. When he pulls back his original big blind, the guy's always going to 3-bet. That's what he's done here. And certainly, Ryan's not going to be able to take the heat of the squeeze. He goes out.
But Brian, you can't push around the wine man. Wine man calls everything.
He's running pretty good right now, Vince.
This time, 4-4-5.
Check.
Doesn't hit the wine man.
And he's going to check, and Chris does have a straight draw now. 3 would give him a straight. And he is going to make a continuation bet here. 480,000, a healthy bet, about half the size of the pot.
And Brian's not going anywhere. He's making this call. Turn card, not going to change much. King of hearts.
I'm all in.
Whoa.
But the all-in bet by Brian is going to get this job done here.
Whoa. The wine man, Brian Reinert, taking over this game at the best bet.
Oh, that may have been his best bet so far, Vince, because a 3 would have come on the river. Chris Bolek would have made a straight to win that pot rather than lose it.
Well, the deceptive wine man, Brian Reinert, is truly opening up his game now, applying all kinds of pressure. And right now, action's going to Jared Reinstein. He's got a pretty good ace-jack.
All in.
And he is going to push all in with it.
Ryan out.
Ryan out. Chris cannot compete, so Jared taking down that pot. He's an outdoorsman, family man, used to be a gymnast.
Well, loves to play poker, but his biggest cash is only $5,000. Going to shatter that mark tonight wherever he finishes.
He's got a pretty solid pair of eights right now.
All in.
And he's going to push again all in.
And I don't blame him. I'd do it again, too, with this hand.
Brian with nothing. Goes out, Brian out. And now Chris has a
Now we count, please.
potential calling hand, ace-10. Wants a count.
Chris is just sitting in third chip position, though. But still, he knows he could be up against king-queen, a small pair, ace and a baby card where it'd be a dominating favorite.
He is going to do it. He puts the chips in. The crowd gets on their feet.
So the classic race, the two overcards versus the under pair. Jared Reinstein needs to win this hand to stay alive in this tournament. Right now he's out in front with the 2 eights. Will they stand up?
Jared Reinstein's first WPT cash, first final table. Likes the way things are going so far. Let's see how his eights do. Good on the flop as a king 7-7 appear.
Yeah, he's gonna like the way the flop is going because he's still way out in front with 2 eights.
Turn card is a king. That pairs the board again, so also very good for Jared.
Yeah, he can only lose this pot if an ace or a 10 comes up. They would split the pot if a 7 came off.
So far, so good for Jared, the family man, the outdoorsman.
Great chance to double up.
Here we go to the river.
Tough luck there for Jared Reinstein as his opponent hit the 10 on the river to eliminate him from this tournament. Good sport, handshakes all around.
Nice play, man. Good plan.
It was a race, but Vince, when it comes on the river, it's just a bigger dagger in the heart. Wow.
So Jared, the outdoorsman, is out the door in fourth place.
Couldn't get it going.
He will take home $135,000. Awful beat on the river.
That's sick.
Let's go talk to him.
Super satisfied. The result, obviously, further would be better, but I'm super stoked with everything. My wife's with me. The Bestbet crowd itself is, I think, a family to me. They treat me great. I love everybody here, the whole staff, and the whole Bestbet in general. Played my heart out for sure.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
Well, there you see the chip count. Brian Reinert out in front with nearly $7 million in chips. Ryan Van Sanford, who just turned 21 3 days ago, in second. And Chris Bolek in third place right now. The winner tonight taking home over $421,000.
Okay, Andy's at 10,000, blinds at 30 and 60. Here we go. The wine consultant, Brian Reinert. He's the chip leader. It's on him. He's got a queen 7 of clubs.
Raise.
And he will raise it to 160 to go. Chris folds. Ryan Van Sanford, the 21-year-old, is going to make a call with a 9-8.
Yeah, going to defend out of the big blind here. And flop comes 10-6-5 with 2 clubs. Ryan checks the gut shot straight draw, and Brian has a flush draw. $235,000. The youngster is going to check raise him here with the gut shot straight draw.
He's going to try to push around the old guy.
$600,000 to bet.
But little does he know that
Call.
Brian has a 4 flush. You ain't going nowhere with that. He's making this call. So we're going to the turn. The wine man hoping to catch a flush. Can he get it? No. Pairs the board with a 6.
And Ryan's going to check his gut shot straight draw.
$1 million.
Oof. $1 million to bet now with just the flush draw. Most people would be so happy to get a free card there. Not this guy. Fires $1 million, wins the pot.
The 48-year-old takes out the 21-year-old.
The old man's got game, baby. Ship it. You came here for a reason.
The old man's got game, that's for sure. He is proving it tonight, Vince.
Just an amateur. Just an amateur.
You could sell a lot of hats in poker rooms around the country, I'll tell you that.
He's an extrovert, a lot of fun. But on this hand, Chris has raised the pot to 125. Ryan out, and Brian will splash around with the 10-7. Let's see what happens on the first 3 cards. 10-6-4.
Both players a flop top pair. Brian is out kicked, and his opponent has a flush draw, meaning Brian is in terrible shape here.
He checks. Chris is going to bet 175.
The check raises here. He better duck because it could be in very, very serious trouble.
Raise.
Well, he is going to check raise. Chris will be going nowhere, folks. Just a matter if he moves in here or if he just calls. Anytime you've got a pair and a flush draw, you're never, ever drawing dead. I don't care what the guy's got. So you're going to play the pot.
He does play it, makes the call, going to the turn. And it pairs again 4.
I'm all in.
All in here by Brian.
Well, that is not a good card for Chris. He's only got 1 card to go. Possibility he could be drawing dead.
Call.
He could be out kicked, but he's made the call with just 2 10s and a jack kicker. Has his opponent hemmed up about as good as you can have him. The only way he can lose this pot is to catch a 7. That's not the 7 of hearts.
Ace, king, or queen? Ace, king, or queen?
They would split the pot if a 10 or a 4 came off, and Brian would love to split it right now because he is up against it.
Well, this could be a great double up for Chris.
There it is a tie. This is going to be a split pot. Both players have made 4s over 10s. What a tough spot for Chris Bolek right there. Unbelievable.
Gotta be kidding.
He had him hemmed up about as good as you can have a guy. But yet Brian squirmed out with the tie. He sits back down, happy as a lark.
We are seeing it all here tonight. I am flabbergasted by that. Oh, man. On to the next one.
And what I love is the composure showed by Chris Bolek. Even after opponent sucked out to get a split on that last pot, he stays calm, cool, and collected.
He's going to raise with the suited connector to 125. Ryan out. Brian.
He's just having a ball now, Vince. Just going to play everything. Doesn't care what they raise. If he doesn't hit anything, he just bets.
Flop king, 8 deuce. Action on Brian.
And he's got no hand, no draw, nothing, and just fires right out into the pre-flop raiser.
160,000, and Chris with a pair of 8s going to make this call. Turn card is a 4 of clubs.
Now 3 clubs on the board. Neither player has a club in their hand. They don't know the other guy doesn't.
He is swinging away with nothing. 235. Chris is going to be stubborn. He has the pair of 8s. He's going to make another call.
Well, he just believes his 8s are the best hand. Got no flush draw. Could be drawing dead. Calls anyway. Now a 9 comes off.
Gives Brian 9s, but there's 4 clubs out there.
Gives Chris 2 pair. Now Brian hadn't slowed down so far. He's going to bet here. Well, he's got a hand he could actually check down, I think. 2 9s in this spot.
Brian's going to bet 320.
And Chris lays it down. I'm a little surprised at that. What did the guy bet on the flop with? The ace or queen of clubs? I'm not sure if Chris doesn't rethink that hand, that he doesn't wish he would have called with 2 pair there.
Very interesting. My man is taking over Jacksonville right here tonight.
Look at that chip lead. He's got 8.3 million. Next closest guy to him has 3.5. The 3rd place guy with 1.9. So right now he is dominating these young guns.
Okay, Ryan is raised with queen 9. Brian, of course, gonna call with just 8-6 of diamonds. And Chris going out. Here we go with the flop. It's a king, 7. Deuces, 2 clubs, though. Ryan with a 4 flush. Brian's going to lead out. 225. Ryan calling. Ryan with 4 clubs here. And the turn is a queen. That gives Ryan queens with the 4 flush.
Now, Brian is just not going to slow down, Vince. Once he gets going downhill, he just does not take his foot off the pedal. That is part of the detriment of his game, I think. Just doesn't know when to pull back the reins.
He is pushing again, 375. Ryan just calling. Going to the river.
Well, the board pairs kings. And without hesitation, Brian gonna bet again. This time 600,000.
With 8-6 in his hand.
Now, if you're sitting in Ryan's seat, in your mind, he's got a king for 3 kings or nothing. He could easily have a flush draw or just be bluffing.
And the 21-year-old's going to make a nice call there.
Good call.
Brian shows the bluff. Ryan shows the winning hand, which is 2 queens. Kings and queens take it down.
Wineman sobers up there a little bit.
Well, a chink in the armor right there for Brian, perhaps. We shall see.
Nice hand.
All right, the antes are still 10,000, but the blinds are up to 40 and 80,000. And Chris this time with a pretty solid king jack. He's gonna raise it, makes it 175 to go.
Do you have another yellow stack back there?
3 plus this.
Right behind him, Ryan with a 9-10. Gonna go to 400,000.
Brian gets out of the way. And when you get raised to 400,000 here with just a king jack, this hand shrinks down to nothing.
All in.
Whoa, he says all in though.
Wow.
He's proud of that king jack.
You know, his poker feel, Vance, is as good about as anybody that I've seen in a while. He is not afraid to go if he thinks his opponent is making a move. He just gets the chips out there like he did right there with just a king jack offsuit. Well done by Chris Bolek there. Chris looks down at the 8-5 of diamonds.
And he will raise to 175. Ryan out, and Brian with a 6-7 of spades makes a quick call. We're gonna see a flop. Here we go. Flop is a queen 8-3. So Chris hitting 8s.
And again, he leads out into the pre-flop razor mitts. This is something the pros scratch their head about, I can tell you.
Chris is not going anywhere. He's calling with his 8s.
He's got middle pair here. Calls the 275,000. Now the board pairs queens.
He's got to put out another bet.
425,000. Now, as a player, when a guy leads out into the flop, you just don't put him on top pair because he check raise that most of the time. When he leads out, he's either on a bluff or some kind of draw.
Or maybe has ace-3, something like that. Maybe he has a little piece of that, or total bluff, like you said.
He is going to make the call.
But we're going down to the river, and another 3 hits the board.
So now 2 pair on the board.
1 million.
Now Brian has nothing, but he's going to bet $1 million with Zip and Pip, baby.
I can tell you, Chris Bolek has now got to be really scratching his head. All he can beat now is a stone bluff.
It's pretty much my turn.
Do you want to risk your tournament life when your opponent must be bluffing for you to win? That's the decision Chris has to make right now.
He'll only have about 300,000 or 400,000 left. He knows that. Be one heck of a call if he should do it, but tough to make.
But he's making the call. Look, Vince, he has done it. What a call by Chris Bolek. Wow, that is playing some poker.
Fantastic, he figured it out. He's gonna take it down a big one.
Good call.
Folks, tip your hat to Chris Bolek right there. That was one tough play to make.
Very good call.
Thanks, man.
It's a blast, man. It's fun, right?
It is fun. It is really fun.
I agree.
Well, look at Brian. Said, this is fun, isn't it, man? He just bluffed off a lot of chips, where all three players now have between 4.2 and 4.9 million, and he is still smiling, laughing, and having a good time here.
All right, well, Ryan on this hand is raised with king 8, been called by Chris with 5-4. Let's see the flop, ace, queen 3, 2 spades.
Chris has a gut shot straight draw and a flush draw, a hand you are never getting away from.
Chris is checked. Ryan's going to bet 225.
Now, most players would raise in this spot. Chris just opting to call.
Benny's going to get lucky with the king of spades. He has hit the flush.
Now, Chris is going to check.
Try to trap here. Ryan. He's putting some chips out again. Yeah, 400 grand.
Well, Ryan's got 2 kings and a flush draw. So he made a bit of a hand with the draw, but he's beat, as you can see. Chris with the flush does not raise. I'm a little surprised by that.
Why let this guy possibly draw out on you? But queen on the river pairs the board.
Well, neither player really crazy about that card. Chris is going to check the flush. Now Ryan's got a hand you can check down there, the 2 kings. He does so. The flush is going to win the pot by Chris Bolek.
A lot of momentum going for Chris Bolek from Boca Raton, Florida right now.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
Action's on Chris Bolek now. Got the 6-5 of diamonds on the button. Going to raise it up to 175,000.
Ryan has gone out. Brian Reinert with an ace-7. He's going to make this call. 6-5 versus ace-7.
We're going to have a flop. The flop is Jack 10-8.
Check.
Ryan checks. Chris going to make the continuation bet here. Obviously has no hand, but Ryan has a gut shot straight draw, but it's a sucker into the straight. In other words, if a 9 comes off, he's still frozen because his opponent could have a queen to have him beat. So I don't like this call here by Brian.
Well, he doesn't care if you like it or not because he's making this call. He wants action, and whoa, he's got an ace.
Check.
Well, now he made 2 aces, so at least he's got a hand here, but now there's 3 hearts on the board as well as a 3-card straight. He's still going to be checking and making crying calls. At least I think, but knowing him, you don't know what he's going to do.
There's a $525,000 bet by Chris.
You saw Brian squirming in his seat there. He's made 2 aces, so he's made some kind of hand, but so many hands can beat him at this point. Oh, he's not worried about that. He makes the call with 2 aces. And Chris does not like it. And now a 4th heart comes on the board. So we've got 4 hearts and a possible straight.
Oh, wow.
Well, Vince, he is not getting value out of these 2 aces. He is just betting in hopes his opponent goes away no matter what he's got. Because he doesn't have a straight, he doesn't have a flush. Neither does his opponent. So Brian is going to take down that pot, Vince.
You got this. I love it.
Grandpa just tortured the kid right there.
1 for Grandpa.
3-handed action. We are getting to the top of the stretch here. Brian Reinert.
I am hungry.
Non-professional player out in front with close to 7 million in chips. Let's take a look at his cards. He's got an uneventful king 8. With the button, taking his time. What's he gonna do? I think he's not realizing it's actually on him right now. Perhaps because he usually plays faster. And what are you gonna do there, bro? Okay, now he knows it and he will just call. Not gonna raise. Chris has had enough. Mucks the 4-3.
And Ryan happy to get a free flop here with the 10-9. And flop comes King, Jack 4 with 2 hearts. Well, Ryan doesn't think the guy's got big cards because he didn't raise for the flop, so he's going to lead out and bet the gut shot straight draw. And then you see the wince by Brian, who did flop top pair. Just wonder if he'll raise it here or not.
And he will just call it.
So we're going to the turn here. Oh, and the joker right there for Ryan. He's made a straight on the turn. His opponent is drawing dead.
Abracadabra.
Ryan bet on the flop and then checked on the turn when he made the straight. And once he checks, you think your opponent's got a pair of jacks or something.
250.
So Brian's going to bet 250,000. I don't blame him in this spot after his opponent checked, but now when he's getting check raised, I think it's an easy getaway here from 2 kings.
He has been moved up to 675 total.
And I say it's an easy getaway because not only you put this money in, you're going to have to face another bet on the river. What do you do then? Well, Brian has made the call. He's drawing completely dead.
King on the river.
And that about the worst card that could come up for Ryan because it puts a pair on the board as well as a flush possibility.
Call.
But Ryan has bet the straight confidently. He got a snap call out of Brian. And Brian is in amazement as to how he could have lost this pot when in fact he could have easily got away from it on the turn.
That's Brian's big blunder right there.
Trip king's no good there.
Oh, wow. And there's a look of, hey, go home, Grandpa.
It's a strange line.
Ryan turning things around. 3 players down the stretch we go at Best Bet.
Nice hand, brother. Nice hand, man. Nice hand.
Thank you.
Nice hand, man.
Thank you.
Woo! Is this a battle, baby? We ain't done. We ain't done. It's a battle. It's a battle. These boys can play.
There you see the chip counts. Brian Reinert out in front, 5.1 million. Right in his heels, Ryan Van Sanford with about 5 million. Chris Bolek with about 3.7 million.
You boys got skills, I'll give you that. Both of you, really good. Really, really good players. You wouldn't expect anything else, right? WPT Maine, you gotta win it. No one's giving it to you. I thought I had you there, though. Really did. Didn't even think about it. Maybe should have took a little longer to think about it and make a decision. Can I lay that down there? The king was a perfect card for you. Perfect card for you.
All right, moving on. Ryan, with a pair of 4s, has raised.
175.
Brian, a great sport.
I call.
Kind of knows he played the last hand bad, but still, he's hanging tough. He's going to call with Queen 10 of diamonds. And Chris with an ace deuce also going to stick around.
So we're going to have 3-way action here.
And the flop is an ace, queen, 9.
I check.
Aces for Chris.
Ryan checking 2 queens. Chris checking 2 aces.
Yep, and the man with the worst hand, of course, is going to bet. Just in case these other guys didn't hit. 250. But Brian hitting the queens.
He's going to call with second pair. Chris calling with top pair.
Uh-oh. All of a sudden, Ryan realizes, I think I might have made a mistake. Going to the turn.
Yeah, 3 comes off on the turn, so that's apparently not going to be any help to anybody.
Brian going to check, and here comes Chris with a bet. Wants to get some value in here. Not going to take a chance again of checking and not getting bet on. So he's going to bet 480. Brian out.
Oh, I like this bet by Chris.
That's an interesting card.
Yeah, so if he checks, he would have given both his opponents a chance to beat him. As it is, he might get an opponent to call him with second pair here.
Yes, sir.
Good. He got stung on the last hand with his 3 kings, and now he's just saying, maybe I don't have to call these guys down on every hand. You're learning, Brian.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
Antes are going up to 15,000 and blinds are now 50 and 100,000. Action on Ryan. Pair of jacks. Makes it 200,000 to go. And Brian with an 8-7 of hearts.
Call. Gonna make the call with the suited connectors here.
Chris going out. 8-7 versus jacks, and the flop is a 7-5-3.
This is the case Brian could get in trouble here. He's flop top pair and checks. Ryan with the over pair.
And he's gonna bet it again, 275.
Brian's just calling here.
Yep, he's starting to slow down against these kids. 10 of spades on the turn.
So many times he checks on one street and then leads out and bets on another. After calling the guy on the previous street, he's doing it here.
That is 275.
Well, Ryan is going to make the call with the overpair.
King of clubs on the river.
3 clubs on the board now.
Check.
Ryan checks. Here's a spot that Ryan could perhaps get a good value bet in. He is not bluffing with jacks, folks. He feels certain that they're the best hand. He's betting 775,000, almost half the size of the pot. Just feeling for sure like his opponent's got an under pair here. Just a great value bet by Ryan, and Brian pays off again like a slot machine, and it cost him.
He's starting to make mistakes right now.
I lost. That was a horrible card. It was a horrible call.
Now you're getting it right. Sometimes things just catch up to you.
Yeah, that one stung a little bit. That's a bad call. Nice hand.
Great action going to Brian. Reinert first, though, with the button. He quickly folds the hand. Now Chris with a queen 10. He's going to call.
Chris, a University of Florida graduate, lives in South Florida.
Young Ryan Van Sanford with just an 8 deuce will make it 300,000 to go.
Aren't you just happy to get free flops when you have an 8 deuce and nobody raised you?
Well, he's aggressive. Chris is calling, though. Let's take a look.
Yeah, flop comes king, jack 6. Chris with the open end straight draw. He's going to check.
Ryan with an absolute horror flop. Nothing for him, but he's going to bet.
Once you raise it before the flop, you're committed to bet after the flop.
All in.
The check raise of all in.
Complete pressure to the discouragement of Ryan. He has to lay down his hand. There you go. You can get away with nothing out here on the WPT.
Well, we know aggressiveness pays off, et cetera, but sometimes you're a victim of FPS, fancy play syndrome. When you start raising with 8 deuce offsuits, you might fall in that category.
There is the monster bar here where the Royal Flush Girls hang out. Packed crowd here this evening in Jacksonville. Action on Chris, the Floridian. All his buddies in the audience here tonight. He's going to move it up to 250 to go. Ryan now next to Axe. He's got a real hand. Pair of jacks.
Yeah, he's capping his cards. You don't want to just call where you entice the big blind to call. And turns out the big blind's got a hand as well, but Ryan doesn't know it. He is going to 3-bet it to 700,000 here.
Raise.
Brian, the wine man, has ace king. He says raise.
So he is going to 4-bet it here with the ace king.
1.9.
Oh, wow. Close to 2 million. Chris out.
Well, Chris just hoping these two guys clash for all the dough here.
All in.
I call.
All in and call. There it is.
Come on, baby, one time.
So a big pot here, over 8.2 million in this pot. Whoever wins it will be the chip leader. And if Ryan's 2 jacks stand up, he'll be the monster chip leader playing heads up for the title.
Coins are flipping. First 3 are coming. Here we go. It's a jack 9-7. 3 of a kind for Ryan.
He got very unlucky, Vince, because now Brian knows he needs to catch 2 runners to make it straight. A queen and 10 will win it, an 8 of 10 will split it.
That was a choke.
Oh, man, the wineman gets his grapes stomped on with that flop. Oh, his family and friends disappointed. 2 cards to come.
If it's not some kind of straight card, that's going to do it for Brian Reinert.
Turn card, it's a 3 of diamonds. It's over.
So Brian Reinert, the wine consultant, is heading to the bar now to have a glass or 2. But Vince, take your hat off to him. Just lost the race when he needed to win it.
That's what I didn't want to do, too.
The wineman is gone. Unfortunately, a great entertaining player.
All right, guys, have fun, man. Both great players.
Back to the grapevine for him. Out in 3rd place, going to take home $182,000 and a great reputation. Let's go talk to him.
You know, it's disappointing, but hey, you know, happens, man. I ran well, and I think I played pretty well. But I'm gonna continue to get better, and you'll see me back. Watch.
Well, Chris Bolek is a terrific player playing heads up for the title, but saying the toss-up is stretching it. Ryan's got over a 5-1 chip lead as they start out this heads-up battle. He's definitely the favorite.
Action on Ryan. He's got queen, deuce.
200.
He's going to raise to 200,000. And Chris,
all in.
He's going to set it all in.
Oh, I love the all-in bet by him here. Ryan quickly jettisons a queen deuce, so Chris taking down pot number 1.
You got to believe in order to win, usually. Actually, I want to take that back. Sometimes you don't have to believe and you just win. They always say that to you. Oh, you got to think you're going to. Not necessarily.
All right, action on Chris. He looks down a 10-7 offsuit, going to limp in and call on the button.
Check.
Ryan with the 10-8. Happy to see a free flop this time.
All right, a couple average hands for flopping 10-9-6.
Both players have flopped top pair and a gut shot straight draw. We could see some fireworks.
Ryan has checked it, and Chris is going to bet his top pair, 150. Very interesting hand so far. And Ryan, whoa.
Makes it 400,000 to go here with top pair and a straight draw.
Right back on Chris.
All in.
And he's gone all in.
Yeah, I just don't see how you get away from this hand if you have either one of these guys' hands.
Call. He's going to call it.
No way Ryan's throwing this hand away with his chip count especially. And he's got the best hand, Vince. He's got 2 10s with a bigger kicker.
We can chop her up.
A lot of chops possible. Ryan out in front with the better kicker. Here we go to the turn. Deuce of spades.
That's a great card for Ryan, because now he's got the flush draw as well.
Yup, he's 1 card away from this title.
Well, a deuce or a 6 would give him a split pot.
Let's go to the river. It's a queen of clubs. It is over.
Just that quick. Ryan has won this tournament. Ryan Van Sanford is our champion.
Yeah, he has done it in swift action there.
It's unbelievable.
Chris Bolek is our runner-up. Let's see what he has to say.
The goal is always to win, but I'm happy with my performance. You know, I could have played better, sure, but I was happy to get heads up, and I can't say enough about the whole experience. I mean, it's been awesome. You know, obviously my biggest result and the biggest final table that I've made, so it was great to share that with some friends and family, but hopefully, you know, this opens up some opportunities.
Okay, let's talk to our champion of the Bestbet Bounty Scramble, Ryan Van Sanford. Ryan, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You just turned 21 3 days ago. This is your first ever WPT event, and you captured the title. You made it look so easy.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real.
Well, I can tell you from a guy that's been around a long time, trust me, it's not this easy, but congratulations. We are proud of you. And in addition to over $421,000 in cash, you get a season-ending entry into the WPT World Championship. You also get your name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup. You get a set of monster headphones, 24K.
You also get a beautiful Hublot watch. Once again, let's hear it for our champion, Ryan Van Sanford.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
Tonight it's poker action Canadian style at WPT Montreal. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the World Poker Tour. I'm Lynn Gilmartin. To say they love their poker here in Canada is an understatement. And this week, we've witnessed that passion in full force at the Playground Poker Club.
You see the chip counts. Jonathan Jaffe still out in front with 7.5 million. Youth prevailing here in Montreal this week. 5 out of these 6 players in their 20s. Action on Guillaume Nolet from Montreal. He's playing in his first ever WPT event. Going to raise it here with King 10 of clubs. Makes it 125,000 to go.
Kevin MacPhee going out. Ratharam from Canada going to quickly fold, and then Mukul with a nothing hand. Can't play that mess.
Over to Jonathan Jaffe in a small blind. Looks down at King 9 of hearts. He's going to make the call.
Sam Chartier with a King 4 releases that hand. So two-way action. King 10 versus King 9. One man from Vermont, the other from Montreal. Let's see who gets lucky on this flop.
Yeah, good flop for Guillaume as he's flopped aces and 10s.
Jonathan, the chip leader, with a quick check. And now Guillaume.
Yeah, this guy joined the Canadian Army when he was 16 years old. Stayed in it for 7 years.
140.
And he is going to bet 140,000 into the pot. And Jonathan Jaffe with nothing there.
Fold.
Jonathan's going to go out, so Guillaume going to take that pot. The crowd loves it.
Yeah, he's a local. They're pulling for him. Keep the money in Montreal.
On to this one, Kevin MacPhee. First to act, picks up ace-queen.
Yeah, Kevin, the most experienced player at the table, has 3.3 million in career earnings.
Makes it 120,000 to go. Right behind him, Ratharam not going to play. And Mukul can't get a hand so far tonight. Folds.
Yeah, Jonathan Jaffe plays them all. That King 6 of spade here, he's going to see a flop with it.
Sam out. Guillaume out. So ace-queen versus King 6.
Flop is Queen Jack 7, 2 clubs, so top pair, top kicker for Kevin.
And Jonathan Jaffe is respected as one of the top heads-up sit-and-go players. He's very unconventional in his playing style, but at the same time very, very talented. He is by far, I think, the scariest player at the final table. Jaffe is never scared to pull the trigger.
Well, he's right about that. Jaffe, very aggressive player, but Kevin didn't feel bad about pulling the trigger here with top pair, top kicker. Gonna bet 220,000.
Jonathan.
Yeah, could he be contemplating making a move here? It'd be a bad time for it, but as we said, this guy is ever aggressive.
See if he gets a little crazy on this. Nope, he's gonna fold it.
Wise decision there.
Kevin MacPhee gonna take that pot. You know, Kevin plays a lot of chess. Was a junior champion, he says.
Well, he's cashed 6 times on the World Poker Tour. This is his first final table, but he's made 4 final tables in Europe on the EPT. Won a huge event in Berlin where he took down 1.35 million. So Kevin, very experienced.
Ratharam has picked up the ladies' pair of queens. He will raise to 150. Mukul, WPT Player of the Year, going out. Jonathan out.
Sam Chartier from Montreal goes out.
Guillaume not playing. Kevin MacPhee.
And he's got Kojak. He's got the King Jack.
He's going to give Ratharam some action. He's made this call.
Well, he's in the big blind. Can't blame him for calling here. And flop is King 6-6, so nice flop there for Kevin. He's out in front with Kings. He checks.
Ratharam must hate that when you have a great hand like Queen. You see that overcard hitting. He slows down with a check. Nicely done. 9 of spades on the turn. Kevin just setting the trap, checks again.
Well, Ratharam admits that he is turtle tight. Everybody says he's a very tight player. You can see it. Hasn't bet the continuation bet, didn't bet again on the turn. Now a king comes up, so Kevin has kings full here. I'm sure he thinks Ratharam has got ace high and might pay him off if he bets here in the river.
Yeah, finally Kevin gonna make this bet.
Oh, that looks like a healthy bet. 375,000. There's just under 400,000 in the pot, so a big bet here in terms of pot size.
Yep, into the man they call the flying saucer, Ratharam. He's got to be disappointed. He's got queens. The man is tighter than a parking space at the post office. But this would be such a great laydown if he could possibly do it.
Let's see how you can lay this hand down the way it's been played. Virtually your opponent has to have a full house to have you beat.
But it's impossible to fold that hand. He's going to make the call, and he's going to hate that. Ow. That hurts.
So Kevin MacPhee taking down that pot.
Let's go to the felt. Mukul Pahuja has never taken down a WPT title. He would love to tonight. He's going to quickly fold his king 5.
Over to Jonathan Jaffe, our chip leader.
He won't play that. Sam now with a jack 5 from Montreal. Also going out.
Action now over to Guillaume Nolet from Montreal. He looks down at the 5-10 of hearts on the button.
175.
So he's going to make a position raise here. 175,000.
Yep, he says he's a maniac. He's proven himself right there. Making a nice move. And there, Kevin MacPhee going out. And now it's on to Ratharam with just a 10-7. Okay, he's going to splash around with a call.
Yeah, going to look at a flop. So both players with just 10 high. Comes the flop. Well, it's jack 6 deuce. Action on the flying saucer. He's going to check. Now, see if Guillaume will make the continuation bet here.
190. 190.
Sure he does. 190. Going to try to push the flying saucer out of orbit.
That'll be pretty easy to do with this hand, you would think. Ratharam is reaching for chips.
Come on, it's impossible.
Man, forget all that stuff about turtle tight. He has check raised here to 430,000 with zip and pip. What a play here by the flying saucer. The aliens were knocking on the spaceship door telling him what to do here.
He is putting the pressure back on Guillaume, who has nothing, and he's going to lay down that hand.
Bet you just got to salute Ratharam for making a play there. Perfect timing.
Nice bluffing tonight at the final table in Montreal.
You know, it helps when you have a reputation of being tight. When you raise, you get respect.
Yeah, there's Ratharam's friends on the rail. They have no idea that that was a bluff.
What's flying sauce for? I like the name.
Thanks.
What is it for?
Getting appreciated.
I liked it when I made it up yesterday.
Oh.
Oh, boy. Don't tell us that, Ratharam. Well, he was going to be on a TV show. He wanted a nickname.
175.
That's so good, why not? Onto this hand, a couple folds, and Guillaume now with an ace-jack of hearts. Raises to 175. Kevin out, Ratharam. Flying saucer going out.
Over to Mukul Pahuja. Well, Mukul looks down at the 6-5 of spade, as you can see. Got some money invested. Even though he's in 6th chip position right now, he's going to make the call and look at a flop.
Mukul Pahuja desperately wanting to take down a WPT title.
And here comes that flop. 5-3 deuce with 2 hearts. Mukul with top pair and a gut shot straight draw checks. Guillaume with the gut shot straight draw and the nut flush draw.
190.
Yep, and he makes a continuation bet, 190. Mukul studying his man.
All in.
And he is going to push all in.
Call.
Guillaume is going to take a shot. Going to make this call.
So here we go. Guillaume with the nut flush draw and the 2 overcards up against the 2 5s for Mukul Pahuja. So everybody on their feet here.
2 cards to come. What drama we're seeing at Playground.
Without a 6, I'm not all in.
Will the local knock out the great Mukul? We're going to see.
It's kind of an awkward spot.
Let's roll that 4th street. 10 of diamonds. Mukul safe there.
Now it's different.
Guillaume must catch a heart, an ace, or a jack to win this pot. Anything else, and Mukul Pahuja will double up. And I can assure you, these other players are not rooting for that.
Oh boy, Mukul's got a sweat out up against Guillaume, the maniac.
You have me covered?
Will the maniac knock out the Mukul? Let's do it. Nope.
Eight of spade comes off. Tough luck for Guillaume.
No, I don't think I do. You have
He's not sure if he's got more chips or less.
More.
We think he can sit back down. He'll have a few chips left.
I was wrong.
Mukul Pahuja dodging bullets on the turn and the river there, Vince, to stay alive and double up, and he will be a force to be reckoned with now.
What a hit for Guillaume, down to his last chips here.
Yeah, only has a small blind, Vince, and that's if you don't ante. That's all he has left.
All right, let's go to the felt. Sam, with a pair of deuces, quickly folds. Guillaume putting in his last chips, of course. The crowd cheers.
Good luck, buddy.
Kevin out. But now Ratharam with ace-5 of clubs.
Yeah, he's going to raise it, try to shut everybody else out. Makes it 200,000 to go.
All right, let's take a look at Mukul Pahuja's hand. It's a 10-8.
Yeah, quickly folds.
But Jonathan Jaffe picking up aces, the weapons of mass destruction.
Raise.
And now he's going to raise and come over the top, which obviously anybody would do with aces in this spot.
Total of 480, back on the flying saucer. Ratharam, and he's going to make this call.
And he knows how aggressive that Jonathan is, but he might be just trying to shut him out of this pot, but that's not the case here.
Flop is a queen, jack, jack. Guillaume looking horrible. Ace is looking extremely solid.
175.
Gonna make the continuation bet with the quality hand.
Just 175,000 though, into a pot that's got over $1 million in it.
And Ratharam gonna let them battle it out. Guillaume slaps over his cards with confidence.
Well, he's got to hit 2 runners to make it straight. 2 running 9s or 2 running 4s. Nothing else will win for him.
He is good-natured. He sees the end of the tunnel, no doubt. Going to the turn.
Well, the 3 comes off. That's going to do it. Guillaume drawing dead. He is going to be our 6th place finisher, but congratulations to him. What a good week he had, Vince. He got his money in a good spot a minute ago against Mukul. Just didn't get lucky and win the pot. Out tonight, 6th place.
Yeah, Guillaume Nolet out here today. Gonna take home 90,000. Let's go see what he has to say.
I'm a little disappointed, but I mean, I was expecting anything from that final table. It was a tough table, so I mean, I got to be ready to put my chip in. So yeah.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
Felt a quick fold by Kevin MacPhee. Ratharam. The flying saucer goes away, and now Mukul Pahuja also folding.
Action on Jonathan Jaffe. Looks down at an 8-5 offsuit out of the small blind, going to make the call.
Yep, he's the chip leader, and now Sam Chartier from Montreal. They call him Picasso because he loves to paint. He will not raise it with Queen 4. We're going to see a flop. Flop is at Ace, Queen 3. Queen's there for Sam.
Jonathan is going to lead out and bet here with nothing. 100,000. Sam has a pair of queens. He's got second pair. Doesn't believe that Jonathan has an ace because he didn't raise before the flop. So he calls him with the queens. Now the board pairs aces.
Let's see if Jonathan continues this larceny. No, he's going to slow down. Sam also checking behind him, going to the river.
Now a 10 comes off.
Jonathan, our chip leader. No gamble there, checking again.
Well, he's just waving the flag here, Vince.
140. 140,000.
140,000 with the two queens. Samuel thinks they're good. Jonathan knows the only hand he can beat right now would be a wheel draw. He just doesn't put this guy on that hand, especially when he breaks out in a grin like that.
Jonathan gets away, folds the hand. Sam Chartier taking down this pot. He's from Montreal, a local. They love him here. Big smile by him.
This is going to be fun.
Ratharam picking up a very attractive ace-10 of diamonds.
Yeah, pretty good hand. A short-handed poker game.
Self-proclaimed tightest player at the table, but what we've seen otherwise. Here's going to raise 200,000 to go.
Yeah, Mukul's got the same hand, not suited though, but he's got ace-10. See what he's going to do with it. Well, Mukul is reaching for, it looks like raising chips here, and indeed it is. He's going to 3-bet this. 465,000.
Jonathan out. Sam also out. Kevin MacPhee from Idaho, 7-5. Can't play that. So now it's on the flying saucer. Ratharam.
Well, you thought you had a pretty good hand, but when someone 3-bets you, now you're scared they got ace-king or ace-queen where you're dominated, or a pair of jacks or queens where you're in big trouble. Plus, he's got utmost respect for Mukul Pahuja, as he should. He lays it down.
Yeah, the flying saucer disappears into the night. 5 players battling for the WPT Montreal Championship, and we're coming right back on the World Poker Tour.
Well, certainly it's a love fest by players for the Playground Poker Club. They all love it here because the hospitality and the way they treat players here is second to nowhere in the world.
Okay, as you can see, the man from Vermont, Jonathan Jaffe, the chip leader with 7.6 million. Action on WPT Player of the Year, Mukul Pahuja. Quick fold by him.
Action on Jonathan Jaffe, our chip leader.
180.
He's going to bet 180,000 here with the Jack Deuce.
Sam Chartier going to fold. Kevin MacPhee from Idaho.
And he's in the small blind here with King 6 offsuit. Going to go out.
Ratharam with the 10-6 of clubs. And he will make this call. Going to give Jonathan some action. 10-6 against Jack Deuce, and the flop is a Queen 4 deuce.
So Jonathan has flopped bottom pair. Action's on Ratharam. He checks.
Yep, Jonathan going to make the continuation bet. Looks like 200,000 into Rath, and he cannot compete with that. Has to fold the hand.
So Jonathan Jaffe from Longmeadow, Massachusetts, increases his chip lead.
Yep, he's 27 years old. Came in second place at Foxwoods, season 7.
There you see Heather Smith, the girlfriend of Jonathan Jaffe, rooting her man on.
And these guys are pretty chatty tonight, enjoying the moment. Why not?
Jonathan shot it 2 years ago.
Action's going to go on the local Sam, and he has picked up a pair of 10s.
Yeah, certainly going to raise with this hand.
175.
175 is going to be the bet.
Into Kevin MacPhee from Idaho.
Wow, laid down a pair of 5s.
Quickly. Flying saucer, Ratharam not playing. Mukul now with ace 6. Won't touch that.
Well, Jonathan's going to make the call with the King 5 of clubs.
So we're flopping, and the flop is an ace Jack 3. Jonathan not hitting any of that. He checks.
Well, Samuel not crazy about that flop. When there's 2 overcards out there, you're just sort of hesitant when you get an underpair.
Checks as well. Turn card 4 of hearts.
Well, again, Jonathan checks. This time he's got a wheel draw. He'd catch a deuce or a king to win the pot.
Man they call Picasso. Sam's going to make a bet with his 10s.
Well, a nice bet by him because Jonathan's going away. So Sam Chartier taking down that pot.
WPT definitely helped get poker super popular in America back in the day.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
remember watching all those Gus Hansen episodes and
Sure, wouldn't be here.
Jonathan Jaffe episodes.
For sure.
All right, watch this hand. A quick fold by MacPhee and Ratharam. And now Mukul. He's got pretty strong ace Jack of spades.
Yeah, on the button, in position. up against the blind, so naturally he's going to raise it. 175,000.
Jaffe not going to play the little suited connector. Kind of surprising, but Sam with a king 10.
He's got the big blind out there, so he's going to make the call to see a flop here with the king 10.
Ace jack versus king 10, and the flop is an ace jack 8. Wow.
Great flop for Mukul. He's got top 2 pair. Sam, as you can see, has a gut shot straight draw.
Yeah, Picasso's going to check. And Mukul, of course, top 2, going to make the continuation bet of 155. Try to induce a call.
Yeah, this bet only about a third the size of the pot here. Trying to lure his opponent in, and it's working as his opponent has made the call.
Let's go to the turn. Can Picasso get lucky on this turn? No, 4 spades.
Now Mukul has top 2 pair and the nut flush draw.
Check. And Sam's going to wisely check. Mukul now with a monster here.
Well, the guy called him on the flop. Maybe he'll call again. Here he's making a much bigger bet this time, 425,000.
Sam with just an inside straight draw. Can't really expect him to pay this off. Hey, he's gonna lay it down.
Mukul Pahuja taking down that pot.
Yeah, but let's take a look at this. It is a queen. He would have hit it.
Oh my gosh, don't rabbit hunt. That's why you don't do it. Sam would have won that pot with an ace-high straight.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
Well, there you see the chip count. Jonathan Jaffe well out in front, 7.6 million. Ratharam in second place with 5.7. That's what they're playing for. Over 460,000 goes to our champion.
Yep, and the antes are 10,000. The blinds are 40 and 80,000. It's all on the line here tonight. Let's go to the felt. Ratharam Sivagnanam. They call him the Flying Saucer. Has a queen 4, and he's going to fold.
Doubt it.
Now into WPT Player of the Year, Mukul Pahuja. He's got a pair of 4s.
Yeah. He's getting out some raising chips here. Going to make it 175,000 to go.
Raise.
Into the chip leader, Jonathan Jaffe from Vermont. He's going to raise with the suited connector.
Total of 395.
Most people like to call with suited connectors. He 3-bets with them.
And now Sam Chartier from Montreal. They call him Picasso. Loves to paint, goes out. Kevin MacPhee also out.
Yeah, back around to Mukul. What do you do now with 2 4s? After you've gotten 3-bet by the chip leader, you give them up.
Nice hand, John.
That's what he did. So the aggressiveness of Jonathan Jaffe paying off there. Jonathan, 27-year-old poker pro.
Yep, lives in Massachusetts. And right back on Jonathan.
Throws away the 8-deuce.
And now right behind him, the man from Montreal, Sam. He owns a maple syrup vodka company. And he is going to raise it up to 175 with an ace-4. Kevin and Ratharam going away. And now Mukul with a king 10.
He's going to make the call out of the big blind.
So ace-4 versus king 10.
Yeah, flop comes jack 7-7. No help to either player. Mukul's going to check. Sam going to make the continuation bet.
Yes, Picasso going to try to paint a little picture of a big hand. We know he doesn't have it, but it's going to work.
So nicely done by Sam Chartier from Montreal.
Yep, he's 28 years old. There's his friends on the rail.
Claims he never goes on tilt at the poker table.
Last weekend, really. I was there last year, but not last week.
You missed a fun party.
And now Sam has picked up a pair of 7s.
Got the 2 walking sticks. Going to raise it. Makes it 175,000 to go. Kevin out.
And Ratharam, oh wow, the flying saucer has the ladies, the pair of queens. What a time to get them. Says he's the tightest player at the table. But we know the flying saucer is not that tight.
And he went to the University of Waterloo. We've seen a lot of WPT great players come out of that university.
He's re-raised to 4:30 to go. Mukul out. And so is Jonathan Jaffe. So back on Sam with the 7s.
Well, toughest hand to play in poker is the mid pair.
All in you.
Wow, he's gone all in.
All in and call, just that quick. Sam is not going to like it. It's pair over pair.
Picasso might be down to his last finger paint. He's behind at this point.
Vince, you just wonder with 2 7s, should he have taken that line against this particular player, who you know is solid?
Bonne chance, mon ami.
Good luck.
Ratharam, of course, has Sam covered. So if he doesn't get lucky with the 2 walking sticks, he'll be walking out of here in 5th place.
He is the local. He is the crowd favorite. Sam in big trouble at this point. The card's on its feet. Here we go.
Flop is an ace, 8-3. No look for Sam.
There you see Trishelle Canatella, quite a player herself, rooting for her buddy Sam to win this pot.
They are hurting for Sam as we go to the turn.
Well, the 9 comes off, so we are down to the river. Sam must catch a 7 on the river, or he's going to be our 5th place finisher. And just like that, the 2 guys from Montreal could be eliminated from this tournament.
He is the favorite here at Playground Poker Club. Sam in a bit of trouble, looking for the 2-outer. To the river we go.
Can the local get lucky? No.
So that's going to do it for the 28-year-old from Montreal, Sam Chartier, out tonight in 5th place.
See you guys later.
Yeah. Say la vie, monsieur.
So Sam Chartier out in 5th place, gonna take home $111,000. Let's go see what he has to say.
Kind of a bummer to finish 5th. Was expecting better results. I had at some point that you gotta make a stand and hope for the better, and ended up not being the better.
With that pot now, four-handed, and Ratharam, the man from Toronto, is now the chip leader with $8.3 million in chips. Jonathan Jaffe with 7.8, Mukul Pahuja 3.7, and Kevin MacPhee down to $2 million. Let's go to the felt. Action on Ratharam.
Started this tournament with 732 players. We are down to our final 4. Action on the chip leader, the Flying Saucer, as he's known. He's going to raise it here, looks like, with Jack-9 offsuit.
200,000.
Mukul and Jonathan go out, and now Kevin from Idaho made $3.2 million total prize money in his lifetime. Very experienced player is going to make the call with a Queen 10.
Now flop comes ace-6-4 with 2 hearts. That doesn't help either one of these guys.
Kevin checks. Flying Saucer getting out the continuation bet. Yes, 105.
105 into a pot that's got 480 in it, so it's a very weak bet, but enough to get the job done as Kevin goes away. So Ratharam extends his chip lead.
And he's going to stay at 10,000, but the blind's going up to 50 and 100. Action on Jonathan Jaffe, former chip leader.
Price of poker getting up there now. Jonathan looks at the Queen-8 of spade.
Yeah, I'll tell you after.
He's going to raise it right under the gun here. Makes it $225,000 to go.
Kevin MacPhee gonna fold the hand. Ratharam, the new chip leader with an ace-4.
I'm just going to give it up.
Only one to contend with would be Mukul Pahuja, WPT Player of the Year, but he's never taken down a title. And he's going to make this call.
Yeah, this is his 4th WPT final table in the last year, Mukul Pahuja. Finished 2nd in this tournament a year ago. Oh, and what a flop for Mukul. He's flopped 3 10s.
Oh! He's going to try to trap with a check. Make Jonathan bet, and that's exactly what he's doing.
200,000 to bet. Jonathan, very aggressive player. Going to make the continuation bet, but it's not going to work here as Mukul has made the call.
Yeah, Mukul's going to walk the dog with just a call.
Yeah, you wonder if Jonathan will put the brakes on. Now 4 comes off.
No help for Jonathan. Mukul sitting pretty, checks again.
Yeah, Jonathan's going to check.
Wise is up.
He knows all he can beat this straight draw. Now another 10 comes off.
Simple quads.
It gives quads to Mukul Pahuja. He's going to check him.
I like this check. Take a shot at this guy maybe betting.
Check.
Oh, he's too smart for that.
Queen high.
Well, Jonathan knows he can beat a straight draw. He can't beat a full house or quads.
Oh, Jonathan, you feel like the smartest guy in the room, don't you?
That's my boy.
I'm getting heckled. I'm getting heckled. I know, I could have played it better.
Lots of laughs at the final table. We're coming right back.
$3.3 million in career earnings, but he goes out.
Yep, and now our chip leader, Ratharam. He's got ace-7.
Well, he's on the button. He's got the chip lead. He's going to raise with this hand just about like everybody would.
Yes, makes it 250 to go. Mukul, WPT Player of the Year, is going to fold, and now Jonathan Jaffe.
Now Jonathan looks down at the 8-6 of clubs. You like to see flops with this hand. We saw him 3-bet with a 9-8 earlier at this final table.
Raise.
And he's going to do it here with an 8-6.
775 total.
Makes it $775,000 to go.
Oh boy, he was going to try to zap down the flying saucer with a bluff.
Remember, these are the 2 chip leaders here. This is probably the one guy Rothman does not want to clash with right now. Well, staring him down. He knows this guy's aggressive. Knows he might be making a move here, but do you want to jeopardize a lot of chips with this hand? There's your answer, no. Ratharam goes out. A nice 3-bet there by Jonathan Jaffe to win that pot. Shows a lot of heart. We saw him do it with a 9-8. Now we saw him do it with an 8-6. Jonathan Jaffe is in stroke tonight.
And Rath, first time ever at a final table on the World Poker Tour. First cash for Rath. And now he looks down at a 6-10 of hearts.
Now he's going to bet $250,000 with a 10-6 of hearts.
Mukul behind him with a little suited connector. Sometimes attractive to play. This time not going to play. Jonathan with the Queen-7 of clubs.
Raise.
Well, this guy is just the ever-aggressive player. Make no mistake about it.
740 total.
Now, we can see he's got the best hand here, but believe me, when you're 3-betting with Queen-7, you don't really think it's the best hand.
Well, he has moved it up to 740 in total. Kevin MacPhee now lays down a pair of 5s. Kevin's on the short stack. He could have come over the top, perhaps, gone all in. But a raise and a raise. Tough to call with 5s, and now it's back on Rath, the chip leader.
Well, these are the 2 chip leaders here involved in this pot with 4 left.
Rath, of course, was just joking around when he raised, and so finally he has to give it up. A nice takeaway by Jonathan Jaffe.
Well, the pedal to the metal philosophy by Jonathan Jaffe working for him tonight. There's his buddy who's railing him, Darren Elias. Darren won back-to-back events on the World Poker Tour this season. That's never been done before in history. Jonathan said that's his favorite poker player. Well, I got news for you. Darren's a lot of players' favorite poker player this season, that's for sure, with 2 wins under his belt.
Into the next hand, a quick fold by Mukul, and now Jonathan Jaffe picking up a real hand, ace, queen of clubs.
Do you know how much, Kevin?
1.8 to start the hand.
Jonathan.
215.
Gonna raise to 215. Now Kevin MacPhee.
All in.
Is gonna go all in with a king-10.
Wow.
He's taking a stab that Jonathan had nothing, but of course we know better.
Call.
He is gonna make this call.
Mon chance, mon ami.
Well, Kevin MacPhee knows he's in trouble now. Almost a 2-to-1 underdog.
King of Diamonds is kind of my bro.
Kevin MacPhee staying positive, though.
Some friends to these adventures.
Looking confident, even though at this point he is behind.
Well, this is Kevin's first WPT final table. He's made 4 EPT final tables, but he needs some help to stay alive here.
It's basically like having kings, because it's like a...
All right.
You always
give him the ace of diamonds, the queen of diamonds, and the queen of hearts.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is if you hit the ace, because I'm definitely getting a king.
Kevin's talking himself into a win. Let's see the flop.
The ace of diamonds, the queen of diamonds.
Ace, queen, 8.
We talked about it.
2 pair for Jonathan Jaffe.
My boy. Didn't I say the queen of hearts also, though? So that should be coming.
Well, Jonathan called the aces and queens, but Kevin still has a shot to win it by making the ace high straight. He could also backdoor a diamond flush.
Remember, I said you were my lucky dealer too, right? Remember I said it? I was like, you kind of seem like the dealer that's going to double me up. Just a little jack or diamonds.
Kevin is not giving up hope.
Preferably.
Well, he needs a lot of help, that's for sure.
I'm with you. One drama here at playground. Here we go with the turn.
It's an ace. That's going to do it. The best hand possible for Jonathan Jaffe. Aces full of queens. And the river card is going to be irrelevant. That's going to do it for Kevin MacPhee. Came to this final table in last chip position. Finishes 4th tonight. He'll be heading back to Idaho. But still, Vince, good performance by him this week.
Yeah, Kevin MacPhee, a great player. Bounced out of here 4th place. Going to take home $149,000. Let's go talk to him.
I mean, obviously you want to get the title, but I mean, given my stack situation where I was at, I was pretty happy to ladder up, you know, a couple spots. That's real money in my pocket, so pretty happy about that, and had a really fantastic week. I love this place.
Welcome back to the Playground Poker Club. 3 players competing for this title here tonight.
Yeah, 2 Americans, 1 Canadian. Jonathan Jaffe, the chip leader with $10.2 million. Ratharam Sivagnanam from Canada in 2nd place. The WPT Season 12 Player of the Year, Mukul Pahuja, sitting in 3rd right now.
Okay, back to the money pit. Jonathan Jaffe with a quick fold. And now Ratharam, the flying saucer, going to get involved with the 5-4 with the call.
Mukul Pahuja with the 7-5. Happy to see a free flop. So here we go.
Couple junk hands competing. And the flop is a 9-4-3.
Well, Ratharam now has middle pair, and he is reaching for betting chips. 125,000 Mukul, as you can see, has the gut shot straight draw. He's also got position, and he's going to make the call.
We are going to go to the turn. It's an 8 of hearts.
Well, Ratharam is going to check here. And look at this. Mukul reaching for betting chips.
Ratharam on my right is probably one of the bigger question marks, but he's extremely talented. I've played with him in this tournament now for a few days, and he's done some things that have really impressed me. And he's someone that is extremely dangerous.
This gives you an idea of how dangerous he is. He's called him with 2 4s here on the turn. And now a deuce comes off. No help to either player. Ratharam checks. Now Mukul has the very worst hand possible. He knows that.
That's something to be proud of.
So to win it, do you want to risk chips by bluffing? It's the only way you can win it.
Yes. Here you go, Mukul.
460,000. Put your opponent to the test here.
It's bragging rights to bet with the worst hand possible. Come on, you can tell your grandkids about this one. And it's going to work.
Yep, Ratharam's going to give up the 4s. That's how you become Player of the Year, folks. You bet with the worst hand possible and take down pots.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
Action on Ratharam. Looks down at a 9-8. He's on the button and he's going to raise it, looks like, with his hand. 235,000. Mukul with the junk hand goes out.
And Jonathan now with the queen 7.
And Jonathan makes a snap call with a junk hand himself.
And the flop is an ace, 8-7. They both hit pairs.
Yeah, bottom pair for Jonathan. He checks. Ratharam's got middle pair. And since his opponent didn't raise yet before the flop, you don't put him on an ace. So you're going to bet with 2 8s here in this spot. Ratharam doing just that. Bets 255,000.
Jonathan getting stuck here. He's going to make this call, and an ace on the turn gives them both 2 pair. Ace is up. Jonathan going to check it.
Ratharam with middle pair. Just believes it's the best hand, so he's going to bet again.
340.
Yeah, a solid 340 into the chip leader.
Well, Jonathan knows all he can beat now is a bluff. Does he want to risk chips against this guy?
Fold. And he is going to release the hand.
So a good laydown by Jonathan. Ratharam taking down that pot.
He says he doesn't play poker for money, just for personal satisfaction. He's got to be very satisfied with himself right there. Lines are 50 and 100. Action on Mukul.
Mukul on the button here with the Jack-9 of hearts.
Not going to raise, just calling with it. Behind him, the chip leader Jonathan going to look at a Jack-10 of clubs. Nice suited connector.
That's the kind of hand you're going to play. He just calls here.
Going to play it slow into Roth, the flying saucer. And he's got a king 6 of diamonds.
That's kind of hand you're happy to see a flop with too. So 3-way action here. Here comes the flop. Well, it's ace, ace, 5. No help for anybody. Jonathan checks. Ratharam checks. And Mukul checks. So we're going to the turn here. And now a king comes off.
Roth hitting kings.
Well, Jonathan's hit a royal flush draw here, Vince.
Wow, that is true.
He's going to check it. Ratharam now has aces and kings. He's also going to check. That's playing pretty tight. And Mukul, who now has the worst hand, of course, is betting 150,000. And do you just call if you're Jonathan, or do you raise here with the royal flush draw? You want to see a card. He's just calling. And Ratharam with the best hand, he's got ace and kings. He's also calling. So we still have 3-way action.
Going to the river, a 9. Gives Mukul a pair of 9s, and that's it.
Well, Jonathan's just going to check. He's waving the flag, going to give it up. Ratharam, who's been called in 2 places.
He's going to check as well, and Mukul now.
He also checks. He's got 2 9s, but they're not good enough. Ratharam going to win the pot with aces and kings.
The flying saucer can't believe it himself. He turns up the winner.
And Mukul saying to himself, I should have bet the flop instead of the turn. I might have won that pot.
The flying saucer, Roth. Shoveling in the chips. Action on Jonathan Jaffe.
240.
Wow, with a horrible hand. 10-4. He's going to raise it to 240.
Well, that is what aggressive players do. Raise with junk.
Roth now with a king 7. Lets that go. And Mukul. The 3 deuce of spades. He will speculate with this, make a call.
So we're going to have a flop here.
280.
And the flop is 9-6 deuce with 2 clubs. Mukul with bottom pair checks. Jonathan with no hand, no draw.
215.
It's going to bet 215,000. Now, what do you do if you're Mukul? You have the best hand, but you've got bottom pair. You're going to have to fade this bet and a couple more, maybe. Just didn't want to get involved with a chip leader with bottom pair. Gives it up. Jonathan Jaffe taking down the pot.
3 players competing for a title here in Montreal. We'll come back for more on the World Poker Tour.
Action on Ratharam.
Yep, he's got a queen 9 offsuit.
Well, he is sitting on the button. Going to reach for raising chips here with the queen 9.
He's going to pop it. 2:35 to go. Mukul Pahuja is going to lay down his hand. Jonathan with a king 3.
Jonathan finished runner-up in a WPT event at Foxwoods a few years back. Jonathan Little won that tournament.
Jonathan is going to make this call. So King 3 versus Queen 9.
Well, there's the flop. 10-7-6. So Jonathan has the best hand with King High, but it sure doesn't look like much.
185.
But he's going to bet 185,000.
If in doubt, bet. And that's what he's doing.
Ratharam has the gut shot straight draw. Also has position on his opponent. And he's going to make the call.
4th Street is a 9. Gives Roth a pair of 9s.
There's a full card straight on the board, though. So Jonathan just going to check it. And it goes check, check. Now a jack of clubs comes off, so 3 clubs on the board as well as a possible straight. I'm sure Jonathan feels like the only possible way to win this pot is to bet at it. In case his opponent's got like a pair of 7s, maybe he'll lay him down.
235.
Well, 235,000 into a pot that's got over 900,000 in it. So it's a very small bet into a big pot, but enough to get the job done. As Ratharam lays down the 9s. Good bet by Jonathan.
Quick fold by Mukul, and now Jaffe with a pair of 5s. And he is going to just call it.
Ratharam with the junk 7-3. You'd think he'd be just happy to take a flop here. He's going to raise with this hand, Vince.
What?
He's going to try to take the pot right here. 345,000.
Not going to work because we know Jonathan with the pretty solid 5s making this call. He's got the chips to do it. We're going to flop Ace King 9.
Well, that's certainly not the flop Jonathan wanted to see. He's got an under pair. His opponent raised before the flop. Probably got some of that. Ratharam checks, does not make the continuation bet after raising pre-flop. Now a jack comes off. Again, not a card Jonathan can be happy about seeing. Jonathan checks. And again, surprisingly, Ratharam checks. Vince, when you raise pre-flop with this hand, how do you not make a bet somewhere along the line?
Jack on the river pairs the board.
And then again, Jonathan checks.
The blow on this pot, you'd win it.
Who shows? 5s.
Vince, I don't understand how you can raise pre-flop with a 7-3 and never take one bet at the pot. You just wave the white flag and tell your opponent, here, you just take all that money that's out there. I don't want it. Doesn't make sense.
The flying sausage crashing and burning on that one. And he's got to be saying to himself, why? Why?
All he had to do is bet.
All right, he does not. He loses the pot. Jonathan extends the chip lead at this point. On to the next hand.
250.
And Jonathan Jaffe with the suited connection goes to 250. And Ratharam with a King 10.
Well, he's going to make the call out of the small blind. Mukul Pahuja has 9-3 of clubs, but he's also going to make the call because there's so much money in the pot. So we have 3-way action here. Now flop comes 10-9-6 with 2 hearts. Ratharam's got top pair. He checks. Mukul's got middle pair. He checks. And Jonathan's got a flush draw, and he checks.
One to the turn. It's a 4.
Well, Ratharam's still out in front with his 2 10s. And he is now going to bet the 10s. Looks like 360,000. What do you do with middle pair now? Well, if you're WPT Player of the Year and you know it's not good, you just throw it away like Mukul did.
Jonathan with a quick call there.
Well, many players might have raised with that hand, a pair and a flush draw, but he just called with it. Now a 7 comes off, so 4 cards straight on the board.
Check.
I have a 10.
10's good.
Ratharam going to win the pot with 2 10s. So Jonathan perhaps saved money by playing that hand slow.
What a battle we got it going on here tonight in Montreal. We're coming back with more action for the World Poker Tour in just a moment. Three-handed poker game getting nasty here tonight. They're going after a WPT title. Let's go to the felt. Action on the flying saucer. He is going to fly away in this hand with queen high. Mukul Pahuja now from Florida with a king, 3 of clubs.
He knows this hand is going to be a favorite over a 2-card random hand, so he's going to raise here. Makes it $250,000 to go.
Into the chip leader, Jonathan with a king 5. He's not going anywhere, making this call.
So we're going to have a flop. And flop is 6-5-4. Mukul has flopped an opening straight draw. But he's going to check.
Jaffe with the 5s. So he's got a piece of it.
220.
And he's going to bet, just thinking that Mukul's got 2 big cards here. Would have bet an overpair, would have bet if he'd hit any of that flop. At least that's what you think if you're sitting in Jonathan's seat.
Mukul with the open-ended straight draw will make this call. Hoping to get lucky against the chip leader. Mukul is on the short stack at this point.
Man, this should put the caution lights on for Jonathan. You just think if your opponent had king, queen, or queen, jack, he's not going to call on a board like that.
9 of hearts on the turn doesn't help Mukul.
He's going to check. But Jonathan's checking also.
Yeah.
Can't blame him for checking there.
The other card coming up is 7, so that gives a small straight to Mukul.
Knows he can only get beat now if his opponent's got an 8 in his hand. So Mukul getting out some betting chips. $385,000 is the bet. Jonathan squirming in his seat, as you can see. Now he's trying to figure out what he can beat, and the answer is nothing except the bottom pair of 4s. He's just not going to think the guy's going to call you with king, queen, or ace, jack on the flop.
Fold.
He does lay it down. A good lay down it is by Jonathan. Mukul Pahuja taking down that pot after making a straight on the river.
Yep. He is the WPT Player of the Year, but he has never taken down a title. And so he would dearly love to win a title here tonight. Obviously, get his name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup. Yeah.
Well, this is 4th WPT final table. He finished 2nd in this tournament a year ago. He's still here with 3 left this year. That is amazing in itself.
Ratharam. He is from Toronto, Canada, born in Sri Lanka, 24 years old. And his nickname is the Flying Saucer. And the Flying Saucer is going to raise to 240 with a queen 5 of hearts.
Yeah, Mukul Pahuja has the 8-ace offsuit.
Imagine if these two guys had like a law firm or something. Ratharam Sivagnanam and Mukul Pahuja. I mean, it just would be very confusing.
Well, Mukul went to Penn State, majored in finance. Ratharam went to the University of Waterloo. We've seen a lot of successful poker players come out of that university. Nice bet by Mukul Pahuja.
Up to 680. Jonathan out.
He is going to 4-bet here with just a queen 5. What a play by Ratharam.
Oh, the Flying Saucer just buzz it around. What a nice move. Going to try to take it right now. He just senses that Mukul is not that strong, and which he is not.
All in.
But that's not going to work. Incredible. Mukul sees through him. He's gone back over the top all in.
Well, Vince, I am shocked. Both of these players made great reads on their opponent and great bets on every street.
And the Flying Saucer gets shot down just like that by Mukul.
Just terrific poker. Mukul got in the last bet with all his chips to take it down. Wow.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
Well, there you see the chip count. Jonathan Jaffe out in front with about 10 million in chips. Ratharam Sivagnanam in second place. Mukul Pahuja in third.
That's what they're playing for. The winner tonight taking home over $463,000.
And there is the Hublot watch that the champion will take home. What a gorgeous timepiece. Let's go to the felt. The antes 10,000, the blinds 50 and 100.
2 1/4.
Action on Jonathan Jaffe.
I'm going blues to make it more chips.
Makes it 225 to go into Ratharam Sivagnanam. He's got a pretty solid ace 10.
24-year-old pro out of Toronto, gonna make the call.
Mukul Pahuja goes out.
You better not squeeze one of these when he does that. I wouldn't appreciate that.
I'm sorry?
Oh. I don't want some light squeeze. I'm setting this up.
The flop is Jack 9-8. So Ratharam, as you can see, has flopped an open-end straight draw and checks. Jonathan, with 2 9s and a gut shot straight draw, is going to bet $200,000. Ratharam makes the call, so here we go to the turn.
Pairing the board is an 8. Now Roth.
He's going to lead right out and bet here. And the pre-flop raiser and the guy that bet on the flop with his open-end straight draw, $340,000.
Quickly getting called by the chip leader, though, Jonathan. River card 5 of spades, so Roth doesn't make it straight.
There is a possible flush. There is a possible straight. Well, Ratharam is going to check.
2 pair.
Jonathan checks. He's going to win this pot with 9s
Does he have
up.
to show first, or do I have to show first? Okay. Sorry, I just want to see king queen. Nope.
Jonathan, the man gave you a thumbs up, so your 9s are good. Take the money.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Right now we have a terrific battle for this championship in Montreal. 3 players left.
Well, right now, Jonathan Jaffe well out in front. As you can see, he is widening the chip lead.
Yeah. Andes are up to 20,000 blinds, 61-20, Mike. On to the next hand. Roth this time looking down at a 10-8. And he is going to raise to 260. Mukul going out. Excuse me. And Jonathan with an ace-6. Jonathan from Vermont, a poker player and poker coach. Made his first final table coming in second years ago when he was 21 years old. Now he's back. And he's made the call, and here we go with the flop. Flop is a king 7 deuce.
Well, no help to either player. Jonathan's going to check. Ratharam checks also. Now the board pairs 7s. And Jonathan's going to check.
Flying Saucer, sensing the weakness, will put in a bet. 225.
Well, Vince, because he didn't bet on the flop, it's just suspicious. You're sitting in Jonathan's seat. Why wouldn't he make the continuation bet? He's either real strong or just so-so. So he calls him with the ace high.
5 of spades on the river, changes nothing.
Jonathan checks.
Now with the Flying Saucer, pound away. No, he's giving it up.
Ace high?
Yeah, ace high is good.
So Ratharam's done that a couple times at this final table, Vince. He raised with weak hands and doesn't continue on. Here he didn't make the continuation bet. Waited 1 street too late to make it. It cost him.
Well, the Flying Saucer, he's getting a little frustrated. And there's Darren Elias on the rail.
Well, Darren Elias won back-to-back events this season on the World Poker Tour. That's something that's never been done before. He's here tonight to root his buddy Jonathan on.
Action on Mukul Pahuja. He's got a queen 6. Mukul would like to take down his first WPT title. He's the WPT Player of the Year without winning a title. And he is going to raise to 260 to go.
Jonathan goes out. Ratharam has got a queen 8 offsuit. But he's going to make the call here. So both players gambling a bit. Let's see what happens. The flop comes king 8-7. Ratharam well out in front with 2 8s. He checks. Mukul checks right behind him. Oh, and now a 6 comes off. Ratharam out in front with 2 8s.
And Mukul got a little piece of that. That could get him into trouble. But Ratha's going to take the lead here and make a bet. Yep, 340.
And that's more than half the size of the pot. And Mukul just doesn't get involved with bottom pair if he can help himself.
Yep, has no interest. He makes the fold. Roth from Toronto, Canada, born in Sri Lanka. 24 years old, first WPT cash. Jonathan Jaffe, he looks down at a pair of kings.
What's the big line? 120? 260?
260,000.
He's going to move it up to 260 to go. Flying saucer flies away. But now Mukul Pahuja also with a pretty strong ace-queen.
Well, very strong, especially against an aggressive player, Vince.
740.
Uh-oh. He's going to raise it.
Well, definitely going to 3-bet here to 740,000. I'm guessing Jonathan's going to raise again. I would in this case.
$1.4.
He's going to do what Mike Sexton would do, pump it up. 1.4 million, it looks like. Oh, wow. It's going to get very costly for Mukul.
I'm all in.
And he's going to push all in.
Well, all in and a snap call.
It is going to be a showdown. Mukul Pahuja from Florida in a bit of trouble right now.
Well, Vince, Mukul finished second in this tournament last year. He could be out in third place unless he gets some help here. Jonathan Jaffe with the best hand right now with the 2 kings. Will they stand up?
I want to be with a guy who doesn't lose WPTs.
So Jonathan going to the rail. He's moved over next to Darren Elias. Smart move, Vince. Get some of that mojo of Darren's.
Sure been fun either way.
And the flop is a king.
Right on the flop. How good is this guy running? He made the best hand possible to knock Kevin MacPhee out in 4th place when he made an ace-queen. That ace is full of queens. And Mukul Pahuja gets up, knows he has to hit 2 running cards to win this pot.
Maybe if I shake your hand early, I might get that.
A lot of drama taken out of that flop from Mukul. Mukul smiling, realizing his fate. Doesn't look too good at this moment. Jonathan can't believe it. Going to the turn.
Must be a jack or a 10. Nope, that's going to do it. Kings full of deuces right there for Jonathan Jaffe to eliminate Mukul Pahuja from this event. But Vince, you got to stand up and salute Mukul Pahuja. This guy finished second in this tournament a year ago. Class act all the way. Mukul Pahuja out tonight in 3rd place.
Yeah, that's right. Mukul's going to take home $201,000. He's a 3rd place finisher, a class act. Let's go see what he has to say.
Another close call. It might just turn itself into another big run, you know, shortly into the future. These things keep fueling me to get closer and closer. So it's really tough competition today. I'm pretty proud of how I handle myself and the decisions that I made for the most part. So that's all you can do is just make the best decisions you can and try to get yourself in this spot to win again. And that's all I'm going to keep doing.
Jaffe looks down at a king 9.
280.
280. Makes it 280,000 to go.
And look at this.
Whoa.
Ratharam has picked up 2 queens on deal number 1.
He's got the real hand. The ladies.
Raise.
Just can't beat that. He will raise, of course.
He puts his hand on his chin like he didn't know what to do. Obviously he knows what to do. It's to raise here in this spot. 770,000.
And Jonathan's not going anywhere. The 27-year-old making this call.
And a king right on the flop. It's come king 6-5, 3 hearts.
Jonathan hitting kings.
Even though he got outdrawn. Ratharam also has a flush draw now with his 2 queens, but he checks. But Jonathan with the best hand with 2 kings.
430.
430,000 to bet. Ratharam checked that flop, Vince. I don't know how you check that flop with 2 queens and a flush draw.
Okay, and Ratharam will call this. Going to the turn. It's another king. So now Jonathan 3 of a kind.
Check.
Again, Ratharam checks the queens.
860.
860.
860,000 now to bet.
Yeah, just building a pot.
Vince, I don't know how you get away from queens here. And he's not. He's making the call.
Now you got to call that one, that's for sure. Here we go to the river. Will it be a heart? No, it's an ace of spades.
Well, again, Ratharam checks.
1.2.
And Jonathan going to plunge away once again with a bet, 1.2 million.
Well, now you're fearful your opponent was betting the ace of hearts, and now he's made 2 aces to beat your queens. If in case he doesn't have a king in his hand.
That is true, but there's a lot of money in that pot. The flying saucer can sense it. Thinking this through, this would be a nice getaway. And yes, he's going to do the right thing, folds the hand.
So Jonathan Jaffe increases his chip lead, taking down a nice pot there.
Show one.
They're both good. They're both good.
All right, I believe you. I made a big fold.
Jonathan being pretty honest. One was very good, the other not so good. We move on. Jonathan from Vermont.
280.
Makes it 280 to go with just a jack-6. Flying saucer looks at a queen 5 of clubs.
Yep, he's going to make the call here.
And we will see a flop of the heads-up battle. Here it comes. It's a 10-5 deuce.
Check. 240.
240. The continuation bet by Jonathan. A quick 240.
Flying saucer getting a piece of that with the 5s.
He's going to make the call.
And the turn card is a queen. That's beautiful for Roth, hitting 2-pair now.
And again, he's going to check to the aggressive Jonathan. And Jonathan with no hand, no draw. Drawing completely dead here. Bets 500,000.
Yep, he is plunging away. Flying saucer trying to act as if he's in a quandary. Of course he's not.
He just calls. Has his opponent drawn completely dead. Now a 7 of clubs comes off.
Check.
Now, again, Ratharam checks to the aggressive Jonathan Jaffe. Jonathan knows to win the pot.
1.1.
He's going to have to bet at it, so he's going to take a stab at it. 1.1 million.
All in.
But Ratharam is now going to raise him all in with queens up here.
Fold.
And that is going to do it for this hand. So the slow play by Ratharam on the turn pays off for another 1.1 million for him on the river.
And the flying saucer looking good, hovering above. But he's still behind in this heads-up battle, of course.
And he's cutting that chip lead down, though. Now, this is his first ever WPT event, Vince. Pretty impressive. You're playing heads up for the title in your first ever WPT event.
280.
280.
Into the next hand. Jonathan with a 9-10 of clubs this time is going to make it 280 to go.
Yeah, not slowing down because he got burnt in the last pot. And Ratharam with the Jack-9 is going to make the call. Now flop comes 9-7-3. This could spell trouble for Jonathan because he's out-kicked here. Both players have top pair. Ratharam checks. 300,000 to bet by Jonathan with top pair. And a quick call by Ratharam.
Going to the turn. It's a big king of clubs. That gives a 4 flush to Jonathan Jaffe.
He's going to check.
480.
Or chip lead to Jonathan's going to bet.
But certainly you're going to bet this hand. 2 9s and a flush draw.
Yep, he's bet 480.
Ratharam just with 2 9s, but he thinks they're the best hand. Indeed they are.
Makes a good call.
Now queen of spade on the river. As the cards lie, Ratharam has the best hand, as you can see. He's got his opponent out-pipped, as we say.
Well, he's going to check it, though.
Check.
And there, finally, Jonathan slows down.
Who shows first? All right, cool.
And the flying saucer is successful. Yeah, the antes are up to 25,000, blind 75, 150. Here we go, Roth from Toronto, and with a 10-4, just going to call.
Check.
Jonathan with the ace deuce of diamonds, not going to raise. Here we go with the flop.
And flop is 2 3 4. Jonathan checks bottom pair in a straight draw.
Roth getting a piece of that with the 4s. Now he's going to bet a little bit. 150.
425.
425.
Uh-oh, re-raised.
Yep, there's been check raised here by Jonathan to 425,000.
Call.
And Rath will make this call.
Well, suspecting his opponent might have either a straight draw or a flush draw.
Turn card is an 8 of diamonds, irrelevant. Jonathan will check it.
And now it's pretty sure he's got some kind of drawing hand. After check raising the flop, he checked the turn. So he's going to bet the 2 4s here. $575,000 to bet, and called by Jonathan. Now the board pairs 3s. So both players with 2 pair.
2 pair. I have 2 pair also. I don't have top. I have the bottoms. I have a 4.
The 4s up are going to win this pot.
Good hand.
Yep, the flying saucer now. Gonna take it, playing a junk hand. Make some magic happen right there. He's 24 years old, raking in the chips. There's his good friends on the rail, rooting him on. Back into this hand, Jonathan Jaffe has picked up kings.
350.
Oh, wait a second. Roth with a very strong ace-10.
Oh boy, if he raises here, it could be over, Vince.
Set up hand, but whoa, just wisely just calling. 2 quality hands, and we are going to go to the flop. Here it is. It's an ace-jack 3. Roth is out flop, Jonathan.
Boy, has he ever, Vince.
And he's checking. Both check.
What a good check by Jonathan there. Now a 6 comes off.
Just a nothing card, and Roth now feeling comfortable. Gonna put in a bet. Looks like 560.
1.3 mil.
Well, 1.3 million. I actually like this raise by Jonathan here. In case his opponent's got a very weak ace or nothing.
300,000.
And even if you have ace-10, you are scared to death right now, the way this hand was played. If you call, it's a reluctant call. And Ratharam is making the call with the 2 aces.
Down to the river we go. 9 of diamonds, nothing changes.
3 diamonds out there.
Roth is going to check.
And I'm guessing it'll go check, check here, but maybe not.
Check.
I have an ace. Ace is good.
So 2 aces are going to win this pot.
To the complete discomfort of Jonathan Jaffe. You get that kind of big hand, and it just doesn't work out. You feel like a schmuck.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
$350.
He's going to quickly raise with a mediocrity, a 7-6, 350 to go. Roth looks down at a king-6.
Yeah, he's going to make the call.
Yes, his motto, you only live once. I like it, Roth. Let's see if that works out here. Flop is at 8-5-5.
Action on. Ratharam, he checks. Jonathan with the open-end straight draw.
Check.
Surprisingly checks. I say surprisingly. I don't know why you wouldn't bet that hand. Now a 6 comes off. Yeah, Ratharam has got him out-kicked.
Roth's going to check. But Jonathan with a big possible drawing hand, open-ended as well. He's going to bet.
225,000.
Roth. Oh, wow. He's going to raise this with his 6s.
Vince's opponent didn't bet the flop, so you don't put him on a pair, so you think your 2 6s are the best hand now.
Makes it 875 to go. Jonathan, content to call. He'd like to catch his straight and hurt Roth, but no, a king comes up, giving Roth kings and 6s.
Oh, a beautiful card for Ratharam. He suspected his 6s were out in front, which they were. So now he's got to feel like his kings and 6s are out in front for sure.
And Roth, known as the Flying Saucer, going to stick in a bet of 950.
Fold.
And a quick fold by Jonathan. He gets away from that.
And Vince, for the first time in this heads-up battle, we have a new chip leader. Ratharam Sivagnanam from Toronto is our man.
And there's a Canadian out in front now, and that is Ratharam Sivagnanam. He's got about 12 million. Let's go to the felt.
350.
Action on Jonathan. King 7 makes it 350 to go.
Oh, it just continues here for Rath. The roll I'm talking about, in terms of picking up hands. Here he's got 2 jacks.
Raise.
And he is going to 3-bet it. 975,000 now the bet. And Jonathan's got to wonder what's going on. He says, I never seem to win a pot heads up with this guy.
But he will call this. King 7 of spades up against jacks.
And flop comes ace 4 deuce. Neither player happy to see the ace.
But Roth with the jacks, gonna bet 625.
Yeah, makes the continuation bet. Jonathan is going to make the call here, Vince. No hand, no draw. This just a float. Perhaps he's going to try to steal it later on. Now the 8 of hearts comes off. This gives Rath a flush draw to go along with his jacks, and it goes check, check. And now a 10 of spade on the river.
Roth just not trusting that his opponent, maybe he has an ace, he's thinking he checks again.
1.205.
And now the nice strong bet with nothing by Jonathan. And the bet is 1.2 million. And Roth looking very uncomfortable. He's going to muck this.
Wow.
Jonathan is going to show the hand.
Nice hand.
He has just taken out his pocket knife, cut him open, and poured the salt shaker into it.
Still got to fold my hand.
Beautifully done.
That'll make the flying saucer tilt as it's orbiting the Earth, I'll tell you that.
Spots are up to 1 and 200 with a $25,000 ante now. Action on Roth. The flying saucer.
450.
Said he came up with that nickname yesterday. I'm starting to believe him. He's got ace 8, makes it 450 to go.
Call.
And we got Jonathan with the call with a queen 9.
Now flop 6-4 deuce rainbow, no help to anybody. Jonathan's going to check. Now Ratharam going to make a continuation bet.
850.
425,000, and he's going to get raised here to 850,000 by Jonathan. And back-to-back pots, Jonathan Jaffe has stolen 2 pots without having the best hand either time.
Yeah, he is just mugging the Canadian at this point. One Canadian, one American, going at it. Down the stretch we go. Action on Rath. He's got a pretty nice king-jack offsuit. Lines are 125, 250 with a $25,000 ante. Rath's getting out the raise and chips, makes it 625 to go.
Jonathan Jaffe looks down at a pair of 10s.
That's the real hand right there. Pair of 10s in a heads-up battle.
Raise.
And he is going up the elevator, of course.
Yep, he is going to raise it here.
$1.6.
Now, nearly $1 million raised. 975,000 raised to be exact. You're playing heads up with King Jack. What do you do now?
Well, you got a pretty good hand, but do you want to invest too much before the flop?
Well, you can make a case for any option, Vince. Folding, calling, or raising.
But the flying saucer is content to just call it.
Yeah, wants to see a flop. He's in position. He's looking for Picasso's.
All right, let's do it. The flop is a 7-5-4.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. 3 baby cards come up. Good flop for Jonathan.
I'll say. Great big overpair when that junk hits. That feels nice.
Well, over 3.2 million in the pot now. Let's see what he's going to bet.
1.95.
Yeah, he's putting out a lot of chips, close to 2 million.
Yeah, 1.95 million he's betting.
And that is disappointing for Rath. Just didn't hit anything, and he's got this madman on his right, just plunging away, and you got to let it go.
Gonna give it up. So with that pot, Jonathan Jaffe reassumes the chip lead.
I wouldn't let you score for long.
And Jonathan shows the hand.
Did you think about it?
Yeah, I considered it.
King Jack offsuit.
This guy's good. Or is he?
He even called his hand, King Jack offsuit.
That is pretty impressive. What a battle. These guys have about the same amount of chips still. Action this time on Rath. He's got king high. Let's see what he does with this one. He's getting the raising chips out.
He makes it 700,000 to go here. Jonathan gonna make the call here with the 7-6. Wants to see a flop. Now flop comes King Jack deuce.
Rath has hit the pair of kings.
450.
And Jonathan with just 7 high will make a bet. Plunge away at 450.
Wow, he's gonna lead right out into the pre-flop razor here. But that's not gonna work. As Ratharam has top pair, as you can see, and he's just going to call the 450. Figures Jonathan might be on a straight draw or a flush draw. Wants to see what comes off here. Well, a deuce comes off. Jonathan has checked.
Yep, Rath is going to bet it.
Yep, 950,000.
1.4 on top.
What the heck is going on?
He has check raised with 7 high, folks. 1.4 million on top. This might not bode well for him. Ratharam has made the call here with kings up. So we are going to the river.
River card coming up. Let's see what happens. It's a queen of hearts. So Jonathan hitting none of that. Just has 7 high. Will he continue his fluff and puff show?
2.6.
Oh yes, he's gonna do it. You gotta like this.
And a healthy bet of 2.6 million.
You gotta appreciate the guts of the man has. And we know, of course, Rath has top pair. Bad kicker. But with the queen there, got 2 pair and they share the queen kicker.
Well, Vince, the check raised on the turn. You're just scared your opponent's got ace king.
Oh wow.
Even 2 aces.
He's gonna lay this down.
You show yours, I show mine.
You do 1 for 1.
Oh, you don't want to see it again.
All
right, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
That one.
Whichever one he shows him, he knows he laid down the best hand.
He was bluffing.
He's bluffing again. 3 consecutive pots. He has outplayed Ratharam in this heads-up battle to widen his chip lead.
Yeah, but he even tortured him even more by saying, let's put over 1. I mean, that is just a torture chamber. I love this guy's style.
Oh, my golly.
All right. Back to the table. Roth now.
Well, again, Roth has a good starting hand, an ace-jack this time.
Yeah, but he's talking to himself. He's punchy right now from the abuse of Jonathan Jaffe.
Raise.
He's going to raise with just queen 3.
1.7.
Does he not know the slogan, you can always slide so far in barbed wire? Vince, this guy never has a hand. He just raises every pot.
I'm all in.
All in.
Oh, but look at Roth. The Flying Saucer's going to go all in. That's what you got to do, Flying Saucer. Push it all in. Take the play away from your man that's been bluffing you. Mr. Flying Saucer, you are back.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
Well, this is approximately where they started in terms of chip count in this heads-up battle. Jonathan Jaffe has stolen his way back to that big chip lead once again.
Action on the Flying Saucer. Roth with just a 10-5. Gonna call. And Jonathan with a Jack 5 of hearts.
Happy to see a flop.
Flop, king, queen, 9-2 clubs. Both players with a gut shot straight draw. Jonathan's going to check his.
Rath with nothing.
Yeah, Ratharam reaching for betting chips and going to bet. And he's taking a page out of Jonathan's book. Look, I can't win with the best hand. Let me try to bluff with the worst hand, and it worked.
Yep. Jonathan folding. Rath taking a hand, but it's been such an effort for Rath to win pots. Jonathan's so stubborn, mixing up his game brilliantly, playing with such heart tonight. On to this one.
900.
Jonathan with another lousy hand. 8-4 makes it 900,000 to go.
And he just doesn't slow down.
And Rath is going to call it with king 4.
And flop is ace 10-9.
Both did not hit. They both check. And the turn card is a 9. Pairs the board. Helps neither player. Rath checks. Jonathan now.
500.
He just can't help himself.
500,000.
Betting to try to take it. And Rath, flying saucer, flies away.
Vince, they've got to stop play and put a mask on Jonathan Jaffe. The guy is just a bandit, steals every pot, it seems like.
It's a lot of heart to do that, a lot of creativity. And here's a guy that made the final table, came in second on the WPT years ago, and now he's back. What a player. All right, action on Rath. He's got 10, 8 of diamonds. Gonna make the call.
And Jonathan Jaffe has finally picked up a premium hand.
1.4 mil.
1.4.
He's gonna raise it, makes it $1 million more, 1.4 million to go.
All in?
He's going to get a little nutty here. He has gone all in.
Well, a snap call by Jonathan Jaffe. Ace King versus 10-8 for all the dough.
Rath continually getting bluffed out. Never thinks Jonathan has a hand, so he pushed all in. This time, the wrong move.
Yeah. Quite a 2-to-1 favorite to win this pot and take this title. But Ratharam is just, yeah, he just befuddled.
I don't know, my hand's pretty. His hand's pretty too.
They're two pretty hands. No one can blame either one.
The American Jonathan Jaffe with a big chance of taking down the title against Rath. Here we go with the flop.
Well, 6-4-3.
Something like that.
So far, so good for Jonathan. He's still out in front with the ace high.
Both parties sweat a jack on the turn. Jonathan still in front.
Well, Jonathan Jaffe just has to dodge an 8 or a 10 on the river to become champion.
I feel like Phil and celebrate when I lose.
Can he do it?
River card coming up. Championship card. It's going to work out for Jonathan. Queen of Hearts.
Well, Vince, he stole pot after pot after pot. Finally, on the last deal, he had the best hand. It held up. Jonathan Jaffe, our champion.
But it was some great play by Ratharam Sivagnanam, the flying saucer. Let's go talk to him first.
I'm happy about how I played. Some spots I didn't play that great, but you know, it's been a long day. I could have ended the match, but I made a bad fool, but it's all good. Thank you, thank you.
Once again, let's hear it for our champion, Jonathan Jaffe.